and welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. I hope you're having yourselves a wonderful morning this morning. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're being safe. Yesterday was President's Day, so we were off for the holiday, and I promised myself, I said, you know what? I'm not going to work, right? I'm going to take the holiday off. And then what did I do? I recorded a special. I edited. But I did take some time last night to relax with my mom. My mom's power went out, so mom came over to the house and we had some dinner, and then promised Lily that we would watch movies yesterday, and we watched two. So what did I watch? 35 and Ticking, and I watched Let Go. Two Kevin Hart movies that were made like back 2011, 2012, around that time period. So hope you had yourselves a wonderful President's Day. I remember back in the day where we used to have Abraham Lincoln's Day and we used to have George Washington Day. Now it's just President's Day, and I think that's sad for kids because you should have 2 days off from school. But you probably are going to have plenty of days off from school because digging ourselves out of central New York snow has been insane. The snow was above my knee yesterday. I snow plowed a couple days ago. I had to do it again. It has been absolutely, positively insane. I can genuinely build a tunnel in my backyard. I'm running out of space of putting the snow. This snow is almost up to my deck, top of my deck. So please be careful out there. Please travel safely. Please give yourself enough time. I'm talking to myself. And just remember that there's other people on the road. I had a guy almost back into me. And then after he did that and he missed, thank God, he decided to swerve all over the road when he got on the road. And then I had somebody almost hit me and cause a 3 to 4 car accident potentially because he pulled out of a restaurant and didn't look at any traffic. So please just be careful on the good days. Be careful on the rough weather days. Just be careful when you're traveling out there, folks. It's not, whatever you're trying to get to is not worth killing yourself or somebody else. I've been hit by a drunk driver, and so just be safe, be careful, be kind, be courteous, and think of other people. Here inside the Great Lakes Honda City studios, I thank Great Lakes Honda City tremendously, especially during this time of year, because my vehicle keeps me safe. There has been many opportunities to slide this winter as we've had a really rough winter. And my vehicle truly from Great Lakes Honda City, my 2025 Honda CR-V, has been incredible in the snow and in the ice. And so I want to say thank you as always. That's why I keep going back to them. YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT. And, of course, on wakeupcalldt.podbean.com. That's where you find us Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And, of course, Murphalation for the Nation is usually with us on a Monday, but we had President's Day off. So inside of MonPopcorn.com's What's Poppin'. Murph will be with us this morning for the first hour, and we will be discussing some MLB and NFL happenings, as well as a little sports card show and tell, proudly presented by GG Cards and Breaks. We'll also make mention of the fact that the NBA All-Star Game has become a complete joke and that some people decide to sit out. And I believe that LeBron James was interviewed going into the game, and I want to say, based on what it looked like, I think the question had something to do with, like, what does it mean to you to play in this game, or something about playing in this game, and he's like, yeah, I'm not playing. And it was, like, right before the game. So, you know, maybe somebody else could have gone in his place since, you know, he's, I don't know. I don't know who, I think he should be Bronny because he seems like the baby of the family. But, you know, we'll talk about it. We'll get into that in just a little bit. Very tired of watching somebody kind of just decide when they're going to play. And, you know, remember back in the NBA when, like, you actually had to be physical and you actually had to, like, do your job, remember? And then, like, the guys that got paid the most money actually, like, worked the hardest. It's crazy. I know it's insane. But, you know, this watching LeBron James and some of the garbage of this, like, sit out and, Let me just take care of this boo-boo that I have. That Jordan didn't do that. Jordan played in the flu. People are like, he only has 9 points. And it's like, dude is out here feeling like crap. It's like 100-degree temperature. He has 9 points. Most people would be in bed saying, don't touch me, don't look at me. But Michael Jordan's out there, Charles Barkley, Hakeem Olajuwon, David Robinson. My goodness. Gary Payton, Detlef Schrempf, Sean Kemp, Clyde Drexler. Do I have to keep Scottie Pippen? Dennis Rodman. Okay? I mean, for goodness sakes. It wouldn't matter what was going on in these guys' lives. They would be playing the beautiful game, but not LeBron. Not LeBron. Not I hurt my pinky toe and I just did my nails today. Not LeBron. Poor LeBron. Such a tough life he has. We'll get into it. Hour number 2, Kevin McKeown will be joining me for a double dose of the Bearcat Breakroom. It starts with Kevin McKeown, who will be joining me to honor the life of J.R. Gaudet, as well as speak on the 2025 season. J.R. passed away. He is a member, will forever be a member of Binghamton University and the men's lacrosse team. And J.R. unfortunately passed away in a Binghamton fire that happened last week, right before Valentine's Day. Our prayers go out to his wife, his 3 children, and everyone whose lives he affected. And God bless to him. To Jenna Chan, who will join us at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. She's a hurdler for the women's track and field. And this is not the first time I've spoken with a hurdler this season. I've done it at high school and also with Liverpool at Avicolli's. And now we're going to do it with Binghamton here. I absolutely, positively respect the heck out of anybody that can jump a hurdle. It is, and do it in a competitive way. I mean, I'm happy just to get over it, let alone do it competitively. So Jenna will be joining the show. Very excited to talk with her. By the way, when I jump hurdles, I do 360s. I don't know why. It looks cool. But when I jump, my body spins, and then I jump another one. I have no idea how I pull it off. Don't ask me. I'm just happy that I get over them. Because if a man falls on a hurdle, it feels different. And then the ingredients to success, probably presented by Avicolli's, will focus on time management, which I'm trying to get better at. So there's a lot of good stuff coming up here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Murph, I'm sorry if I stole any of your thunder in the opening, because I know you just want to lean in on the LeBron sitting out. You know, he did his toes today. I mean, for goodness sakes, he just had a massage. He can't play. He just came back from vacation. He ate cereal this morning. Do you know what that did to his wrists to pick up the bowl and the spoon and to scoop it for himself? My goodness, he is a porcelain doll, and he cannot be touched in any way, shape, or he needs to just be left on the shelf until he's ready to come off the shelf. This beautiful porcelain specimen. Oh my gosh, some people consider him the greatest player ever. I consider him one of the biggest babies of the NBA. But I'd love to get your thoughts. Welcome here this morning. I'm sorry to unleash you so early, but when you're ready.
Well, it's fun to excuse me. It's nice to be waking up early on a Tuesday morning before, I got a work event tonight, so we'll get to that later. But I do thank you for kind of setting the stage on what's going to be a short but interesting LeBron rant and NBA rant. But you kind of took the words right out of my mouth. He is being a big baby. Now, I would use another word for that, but we're not going to say that here because this is a family show. Mm-hmm. So I have said for years, I don't care what LeBron's stats are, what records he breaks, he will never be the GOAT under any circumstances. Anyone that disagrees should pay attention to what Jordan actually did in his career. Mm-hmm. Jordan was 6-0 in the finals. LeBron's 4-11, something like that, 4-10. LeBron doesn't know how to finish it off, to say the least. He typically does not like the big moment. He tends to pass the ball away when there's a final shot to take. We remember that from the first series against the Warriors when he would just pass the ball to Kyrie and let Kyrie take the shot. LeBron has played in the NBA for 22 years. 22, 20, 21, 22, whatever it is. Jordan only played for 15. Jordan's third all-time in scoring. Third or fourth? I don't remember. It's either third or fourth. This is how much I pay attention to the NBA anymore. But I pay attention enough to be able to, harp on this. Jordan's scoring average for his career is better than LeBron. Jordan rarely sat out games. Played a game in the NBA Finals with the flu. Helped his team win. He made everyone around him better. LeBron just is great. And don't get me wrong, I'm not taking anything away from LeBron. He is a great player. He is one of the all-time greats. He's probably one of the, greatest athletes of the 21st century. However, he, time and time again, likes to just make up injuries, sit out a game here or there. I'll tell you what, I'm glad the NBA put in this whole, you've got to play in, 65 games out of 82 in order to win any awards to kind of avoid the whole, players resting and everything. Yeah. You should be resting in the NBA. If NHL players aren't taking time off to rest, NBA players don't deserve it. The NHL, if you haven't watched an NHL game, it is one of the most physical, demanding, and exhausting sports that you can play. And these guys are only on the ice for a minute or two at a time.
Yeah.
Some of these guys are playing 25 to 30 minutes on the ice, which is about half the game. But if you've ever skated on a rink, ice, roller, whatever, and attempted to play hockey, which I have, it is physically draining. It is for starters, it's a hell of a workout. If you're looking for something fun to do and you can semi-skate, it's a great workout. I was sweating like a pig when I played hockey for that 6-month period when I was in college after my buddy got me into it. Yeah. And I had a blast doing it because it was a lot of fun. I was just terrible. But if players playing hockey aren't taking time off like that, and I apologize, I guess I'm fighting something in my back of my throat right now. But if these hockey players aren't taking time off, and their injuries are actually injuries.
Yeah.
Guys get 4 teeth knocked out in the first period, going right into the intermission, and they're back on the ice to start the second period. An NBA player gets poked in the eye, and he's down on the ground for 1.5 to 2 minutes. Yeah. A baseball player takes a fastball off the nose, breaks his nose, and he's back on his feet in 15 seconds. Yeah. A 96-mile-per-hour fastball off of his nose. And yes, I am talking about LeBron getting poked in the eye and being on the ground for 90 seconds. I am sick to death of NBA players acting like, oh, woe is me, I got a hua ankle, I can't play today. Or, I got poked in the eye, I can't play for 2 weeks. Stop it. You don't see Steph Curry doing that? You didn't see Kobe doing that?
Yeah.
No. I would argue that Steph Curry's been more influential to the game of basketball than LeBron has.
And he played in the All-Star.
And I know that's a controversial statement to say.
He played in the All-Star.
I didn't say he was better.
Yeah.
I said he's been more what was the word I used? More influential.
Yeah.
The three-pointer became cool again with Steph Curry. Steph Curry's the greatest three-point shooter in the history of the game, and no one will ever touch those records. And Reggie Miller was great, and Ray Allen were great.
Yeah.
But Steph Curry is still young, still probably has 6 or 7 years left in his career, and he's already the career leader in three pointers. He's already broken a single season record multiple times. No one will touch those records. Nobody also will touch LeBron's scoring record because he played for so damn long. Think about Pete Rose's hits record in baseball.
Yeah.
No one will touch that record. You got to play in a ridiculous amount of time. You know, you look at Michael Jordan, and I want to pull up, just so I have my facts correct. I want to pull up the scoring leaders of all time, and I want to see the list, and I want to see how many points it was. Okay, so Michael Jordan is fifth all time. So I beg your pardon with that. He played 15 seasons, 1,072 games, 32,292 points in his career. The next closest amount of games to him was Wilt Chamberlain, who played 1,048 games and had 31,419 points in his career. LeBron's at 41,641 right now. He played in 1,520 games. He passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in less games, so I give him credit for that, who had 38,387. Karl Malone, over 1,400 games. Kobe, over 1,300 games. I want to know how many points LeBron had in his first 1,072 games. Let me see if there's any stat of that.
I want to hit with something really quick while you look that up. LeBron's career missed games in his first 15 NBA seasons, 71. In the 5 seasons that went after that, 98. He's played 82 games, which is a regular full schedule for the NBA before playoffs. He's done that one time. He's never done that for the Lakers. And he decided to sit out this All-Star game that, mind you, Steph Curry played it. And back in the day, as someone so nicely had the highlights of, Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady, Allen Iverson, Kevin Garnett, I think I remember that one. These games, Tracy McGrady, the games were so good. And it was electrifying, and it was a highlight reel, and it was the only time that you could see all these guys play together. But I guess LeBron doesn't have to play in the All-Star game because he just uses it to scout. Because it's not the only time he's going to play with those All-Stars, because next season he's going to buy some of them. So I guess that makes sense. Because Michael Jordan played with what he had. Well, Danny had Scottie Pippen. Yeah, the Bulls drafted Scottie Pippen. They also had Tony Kukoc, Luke Longley. Can people sit here and name off Ron Harper, Steve Kerr, Stacey King, Bill Wennington, B.J. Armstrong? I'm not looking at anything right now. I could look at the sky and tell you this. I mean, the team that Michael Jordan had, beyond Scottie Pippen, well, he had Dennis Rodman. Yeah, later on, they went and got Dennis Rodman. Who else did they get? LeBron goes to a team, craters the team. People audition for him like Simon Cowell, and I'm sad to disrespect Simon Cowell in that statement. Simon, forgive me. But they audition, they sign a 1 or 2 year deal, he decides if he likes you, and then next year he does it again. So, Anthony Davis, you were expendable, bro. I don't know if you knew that. Y'all are expendable. If you're on LeBron's team and you don't play LeBron's game, from the outside looking in, you feel expendable. I don't have to know who the coach is. I don't have to know who the GM is, and I don't have to know who the owner is, because when LeBron's on that team, he also has those duties. Now, I want to give some more respect to Eric Spoelstra, because I thought Spoelstra, I was like, oh man, they're using this guy as a puppet. But Spoelstra won with Dwayne Wade and Shaquille O'Neal before, actually, Spoelstra, yeah, he won with Dwayne before all this
I
happened.
thought he only just got there when LeBron got there.
So, well, Spoelstra, well, let me think here.
I could be totally wrong. I don't know
Dwayne
for
Wade
sure.
won without, no, I think he came in before, but he won without Chris Bosh. He won without LeBron James. He won without all that stuff. But LeBron, for as much as he's glorified.
No, he wasn't there yet. He was an assistant on the team.
Yeah, so he was there as an assistant under,
I think under Pat Riley.
Yeah. So looking at, but they won without LeBron. Looking at,
yes, they did.
LeBron's history. And for him to go to the Lakers and like he's on Mount Rushmore. Really? Wilt Chamberlain, James Worthy, Shaquille O'Neal, Magic Johnson? You're just going to throw him
Kobe
on this list? Kobe Bryant. Oh, by the way, Kobe Bryant played in All-Star games. I don't know if you guys knew that. But the thing is, if you want to be recognized with greatness, then yes, he's talented. Yes, he can score. Yes, he can take over a game. Yes, he has energy and he has muscle. But Kobe Bryant played through stuff. Michael Jordan played through stuff. Gary Payton, Sean Kemp, Karl Malone.
Steph has played through stuff until he literally can't stand up anymore.
Right.
I mean, Steph's had a lot of injuries in his career, and with his ankles specifically, but he will play until he has to be carried off the court.
And he also played in the All-Star game this year. But for LeBron to go to this thing, and for somebody to say, well, Dan, it doesn't matter. Okay, let me tell you something. People remember who were All-Stars. And if LeBron wasn't going to play, and the thing is no, who says anything? Guy walks into the room, they're all doing their interviews, and it's like, hey, you're playing in the All-Star game. How's it feel? It's going to be great. How's it feel? And then he just sits there, straight face, no expression. He goes, I'm not playing in the game. I'm not playing. Why are you there? If you're not playing, come wear a suit, put your big chain on, go sit in the corner, shake hands, dap people up, laugh, have a good time. But you're not on the roster, bro. There's a lot of guys in the NBA, man. There's a lot of guys that want to play in that game. There's a lot of guys where that means something to them. But he ends his 20-year career because he didn't feel like, well, my ankle's sore. And maybe it is. Maybe it is. But you took a roster spot from somebody, my dude. You took something from somebody.
Ball.
Right. You took something from somebody. Because you can. Because you're LeBron. Because you do what you want to do. Your son's on an NBA team thanks to Pops. If I was Bronny, I'd be like, man, I got to pave my own way. I appreciate the help. But nepotism is not how I want to get to the top. I want to get to the top by working.
If he was to pave his own way, he would never even sniff the NBA.
But that's the
or
thing.
The G League for
You
that
think
matter.
about Walter Payton's son, right? He didn't really get that far in the NFL. There's a lot of guys that have come out and they don't necessarily get anywhere. Or maybe they get a workout. Maybe they get an opportunity. But it's not the same because not everybody's the same. We don't know what people are going to be. We don't know what they're going to do.
It's rare where the kid is better than the father.
But
it's very rare.
You see this with LeBron. He owns wherever he is. He does whatever he wants. This man talks about this, that, and the third, but his life is cushy. His life is good. He got a good life. He really does. And if he helps out the community, I applaud that. And if he goes and does things off the court, I applaud that. He certainly has the time to do things since he doesn't go to work. So I can tell you he's talented. I can tell you he's athletic. I can tell you he has muscle. I can tell you he's a physical specimen. What I can't tell you is that I respect him for the way he carries himself and the way that he treats the game. I don't respect it. I don't. I'm not a Division I basketball player, and neither was he. He left out of high school. But I'm not LeBron James. I can shoot threes, right? I can make free throws. I can affect a game in a positive way. I can take charges. But see, the difference between LeBron and I, when I got recruited D3 and he got recruited D1, the difference between the two of us, I play. The difference between the two of us is whether I was going to play 1 minute, no minute, 10 minutes, whatever. I went to practice. I showed up. I was there. I cheered on my teammates. See, I love this game. And it's really, really hard to play this game. And this game is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I know you can't just have a good shot. You got to have a ton of other things. So, loving this game as much as I do, giving as much as I gave to this game over the years, when I watch players, I respect the ones that respect the game. He don't respect the game. He doesn't respect his teammates, and he doesn't respect the game. Not in my opinion. Dude walked off the floor. I gave him a chance, and I've given LeBron a lot of chances, but I've seen a lot of foulness. Stuff that I wouldn't appreciate. Stuff that I wouldn't teach my kids. When the dude wins, oh, he good. He's smiling because it's easy to smile when you win. But when that man lost and there was 4 minutes left on the clock against the Toronto Raptors, what did he do? Walked off the court with his head down, left. Just walked off the court. No handshake, no hug. There was time on the clock. Dude knew he was going to lose. He's out. Now, if he won, oh, what's he going to tell you? How great he is. But when he lost, where's he in the handshake line? Oh, he's not here. Because the man is 40 years old and still doesn't know how to be a good sport. He doesn't understand sportsmanship. He doesn't respect the game. LeBron is in it for LeBron. That's why I don't support it. I can respect his game, but he's in it for himself. He's in it for himself. That's what you show me when you walk off the court like a baby. That's what you show me when you decide not to play in games. Do you understand if there was what if I had a son and I wanted to go see LeBron? LeBron's his favorite player. We fly across country, right? Me and my son fly across country. Costs us $1,000 round trip. We get a hotel. That's $200 a night. So I'm spending over $600 with tax. So now I'm spending $1,600. Okay? $1,600, $1,700. We buy food. So now we buy food for a few nights. Now Daddy's spending $2,000. We got to get a LeBron jersey from LA. Can't get it from anywhere else. So now Daddy has spent $2,200. Okay? $2,200. We get some Ubers. $2,400. We go across country, $2,400. I say, son, you having a good time? Yeah, Daddy, can't wait to see LeBron. We see LeBron in a suit. What's the problem today? Is he injured? Nah. He just resting his legs. And I spent $2,400 to watch this man rest his legs. That's what people need to think about. That's what people need to understand. When the Spurs did this, when they did it with Tim Duncan, the NBA was considering fining them and investigating and doing something against them when they started wrestling. Remember, the Spurs did this. And they were looking into the matter in the NBA, and they were looking at potential violations. Now Big Baby Bron gets to sit down and have his binky, and he still gets that money. If I was the owner of the Lakers, I would say, hey, Bron, you could do you, boo. You can do you. Because if you tell me you're hurt, I can't sit here and be like, no, you're not. But you know what? I got this team of doctors. I got all these strength and conditioning people. I know you're good, Bron. So if you want to sit out 20 games a year, you ain't getting paid for those 20 games. You're not gonna cry about it. You make millions and millions and millions of dollars. But I am so sick and tired of hearing Michael Jordan is not as good as LeBron. When Michael Jordan played with the flu, Michael Jordan came back after his father died. Michael Jordan gave everything he possibly could to the game. And even when he played bad, even when it was embarrassing for him, even when he wasn't up to snuff, when he wore number 45, when it didn't work out, when he came back with the Wizards, even when he didn't look like himself, dude played the game. Bron, my pinky hurts, coach. Can I get 3 days off? You got to ask this man if he's going to play back-to-back games. What NBA player has ever been interviewed and they're like, are you going to play a game on Saturday and Sunday? Are you going to be okay? Like, what a stupid thing to talk about. What a stupid thing to have. Okay? He's a good player. He scored a lot of points. So did Allen Iverson. Y'all talk about him? Because he played ball. Ivy was going to be on the floor no matter what. Iverson would do anything to get on that floor. Stephon Marbury would do anything to get on that floor. Remember when Mike D'Antoni didn't let him play? for the Knicks, paid him $22 million to sit on the bench because he was punishing him, it looked like, from the outside looking in. I can't say that's what happened. It's what it looked like what happened. But there are guys that wanted to play. Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady. Vince Carter played like 100 years in the NBA, but he played. He played. He gave his blood, sweat, and tears. We glorify somebody who shows up sometimes. You think that man makes his teammates better? Why does he have to change them all the time? This man is in it for himself. LeBron's about getting it for LeBron, taking care of LeBron. And that's not, then he shouldn't play a team sport. He should play tennis. He should play golf. Because this is a team sport. Okay? And he could sit here and say, Dan, you got recruited D3. You ain't like me. Oh, that's why you mad. No, bro. I'm not mad at the game. I'm mad at the people that disrespect the game. And you disrespected the game, and we're going to sit here and put you up on Mount Everest. I'm not putting you up on Mount Everest because you know what? Mount Everest sits up there every day. Mount Everest doesn't crumble and then rebuild itself, but you happen to come up and down when you want to. And if I put you on Mount Everest, if I put you on Mount Rushmore, or pardon me, not Mount Everest, if I put you on Mount Rushmore, I'd have to put your face on there, take it off, put your face on there, take it off, because you ain't going to show up every day. Do you think those presidents on Mount Rushmore, you think they take days off? You think they just, take my face off, I'm not going to play today. No. LeBron, you are good. And you know it. And you're like that man or woman that people date sometimes, where they know they look good, they know they got it like that, and they treat people as such. And LeBron, I'm here to tell you, you pretty, but you ain't that pretty.
Yeah. The dude he's just a baby. Like, I can't really find another word to fit a family show for that.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
I pulled up those numbers with LeBron and with Jordan, and I want to point something out first.
Yeah.
So, Michael Jordan, I want to go through his career games played in every season. And I'm going to count how many times he played 80 or more.
Yeah.
82.
Yeah.
18, he broke his foot in 86, so he missed half the season.
Yeah.
So he only played in 18 games. Broke his foot, that's fine. 82, 82, 81, 82, 82, 80, 78, retires to play baseball. Comes back in 94, plays 17 games at the end of the season.
Yeah.
82, 82, 82. Retires again. We're at 10. Plays 60 in 2001 and 82 with the Wizards in 2002 at the age of 39.
Yeah.
Played 15 years in his career. Averaged 30.1 points a game. That is the all-time career record.
Yeah.
Just for reference.
He also played defense.
Yes, he did. 32,292 points. We knew that. In LeBron's first 1,072 games, that's the exact amount of games Michael Jordan played in his entire career. LeBron averaged 27.4 points. Yeah. Respectable. How many points did he have, you ask? 29,413. Mm-hmm. People want to say LeBron's a better scorer than Jordan. I rest my case. 3,000 less points in the same amount of games.
Yeah.
Averaged 3 points per game less than Jordan. In his first 1,072 games, I'm going to assume that's 14 to 15 seasons, so let's do this. Let's see what happened in those first handful of seasons here. As a rough estimate. Basically his entire career in Cleveland and Miami. So we'll go through 2017, 2018 before he went to the Lakers. Four MVPs.
Yeah.
Jordan had 5, by the way.
Yeah.
Quite literally only ever led the league in scoring once.
Yep.
And he won 3 championships in that time. Jordan won 6. I mean, that pretty much.
And what has he done with the Lakers? Haven't they missed the playoffs?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, what are we? What? In what world do
LeBron has played 80 or more games 3 times in his career.
Yeah.
One was in 2004, his second year.
Yeah.
One was in 2008.
Yeah.
And one was in 2017.
When he played all 82.
He has not played more than 71 games with the Lakers.
Right.
And his next closest is 67, and the next best after that is 56.
Right. And they talk about the fact there's a couple things here. They talk about the fact like he's never missed a playoff game. Well, I would hope he doesn't sitting out during the year.
He's been with the Lakers for 7 years already.
It's been a long time. But here's the thing. When he became a Laker, you know how disrespectful it is to Kobe Bryant? That people stop talking about Kobe? Okay, so Jordan won 6. Kobe won 5. Kobe won 5 championships. Do you know how disrespectful it is to stop talking about Kobe? By the way, because what's the conversation? Jordan or LeBron? And I ask it all the time because it's the one that people, that's the one that people like to go with. But the winningest player of all time, Bill Russell, had 11 championships. He had as many titles as Kobe and Michael combined. Bill Russell has 11 titles. But why don't we say Kobe, Jordan, LeBron? Kobe Bryant was so good. He spent half of his career in the number 8, the other half in the number 24. If you looked at both of those guys as different players, you'd be like, holy crap, those are 2 of the best players in the NBA ever. It was the same guy. Like Kobe Bryant, who played in All-Star games. Kobe Bryant, who was there with his team. Kobe Bryant, who won with all different types of teams. And toward the end when the same guys weren't there, it was rough. Of course it was. But this dude, I mean, he could put up a 60-point game whenever.
He did it in the literal last game of his career.
Yeah. I mean, this guy could literally like channel just absolute amazing, miraculous games. And we don't talk about
82?
Yeah.
Or 81 against the Phoenix Suns, maybe?
Guy's insane.
No, I think, you know what? I think it was, I hate to say it, I think it was against your Raptors.
I think it was against Toronto. That's why I kept my mouth shut. So.
But here's the thing, and I think you're 100% right. If you're giving me an all-time team, and I can put guys at any position.
Yeah.
Give me Kobe at the 1, give me Jordan at the 2.
Okay.
And do not put LeBron on this team.
Well, my thing is, if I'm going to put a team together...
Actually, no. Give me Steph at the 1, give me Jordan at the 2, give me Kobe at the 3.
Yeah.
And then we'll figure it out. I mean, probably Shaq as my center.
Larry Bird.
Either Shaq or Kareem, and then probably Larry Bird at the 4.
Right. But here's the thing. I mean,
you can't go wrong with that team.
No, and when people...
And don't get me wrong, Kobe missed time in his career.
Right.
But Kobe was the hardest working player.
When did Kobe
I would argue in the history of the
out?
NBA.
When did Kobe sit out for the sake? When did Kobe just say?
He never did.
Oh.
Again, he would have to be dragged off the court.
Right.
The dude made 2 free throws on a blown Achilles.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
But see,
I mean, realistically, that Achilles injury ended his career early. I think he could have played to 40 if he didn't tear his Achilles. But I think by the time he came back from that, he just was never. And we've seen that in a lot of sports. Guys will blow their Achilles and they're never the same.
Right. And what did Kobe say?
Especially in.
What did he say? He said he sleeps like 3-4 hours a night. Make me feel good, Kobe, because it's you and me. So, but not because we're just doing stupid stuff, right? I mean, it's because a lot of the stuff that we were doing was working. So we're going to take a step aside for a fast break. Mount Rushmore of greatest, really? Like, he's not on my Mount Rushmore of greatest Lakers of all time. Why would he be?
Oh, that's not even a question.
Like, Wilt, Kareem,
he won
Kobe,
a freaking
and Magic Johnson. And I'm
he won a COVID championship that the NBA rigged because Kobe died. There's no way the Lakers actually would have won that championship. They made it so that the Lakers won that one.
By the way,
because if people talk about how the NFL is scripted, there is no doubt in my mind that was scripted for the Lakers to win.
Well, Phoenix in the bubble, remember, folks, they went undefeated and they didn't make the playoffs in the bubble. The bubble that was down at the Wide World of Sports at Walt Disney World with the ESPN Wide World of Sports. We're going to take a step aside for a fast break. When we come back, we're going to hit you with the NFL and Major League Baseball. And I believe, there's this guy, I don't know if you know him, Murph, but his name is is it Shohei Ohtani? Is that he's in LA, right? He's with the Dodgers.
I heard he's a decent prospect.
He's okay, right?
I mean,
Did he not play an entire season? An entire season. And, won a World Series when he was coming back from injury this past year. He's in LA. LeBron's in LA. Maybe they should talk to each other. Because Shohei Ohtani, they're like, he can't.
I don't think Shohei Ohtani should give him the time of day.
Listen, Shohei Ohtani, if this was LeBron, you got an injury, bro. You got to rehab. He'd be like, all right, I'm going to be out like 72 games. And then the other 10, I'm going to cut him in half, play 5. Shohei Ohtani could not pitch after his surgery. So he decided to come and play and not pitch, but bang home runs while he's rehabbing from his surgery.
And has arguably the greatest season in the history of Major League Baseball.
Shohei Ohtani banging home runs, stealing bases, enjoying life, nursing himself back from injury. LeBron James got the wrong color shoelaces on, can't play for 3 days. We'll be back after this. I'm shaking in the studio, right? I can't. We need medication when it comes to talk about LeBron. We're going to take a step aside. So it's like, I respect you, LeBron. I do. I respect you. I do. I respect the fact that you can play basketball. But dude, play basketball. I respect that you can, so play it. Remember when you used to do that? Remember when you used to come out on the floor when your boo-boos didn't hurt? Man, I'm going to have to stretch. I'm going to take a jog after this. I'm twitching. We'll be back right after this fast break. Great Lakes Honda City Studios. You know what runs better than LeBron? Great Lakes Honda City vehicles. Go get one today.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating at 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and always online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, order anywhere, anytime at maandpaspopcorn.com. Stop in to get a tin at Ma and Pa's on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York to get your half-price refills for the rest of your life. Come to Ma and Pa's for your holiday gift giving for family, friends, employees, and clients. And remember, for fundraising and events, to call 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, here where sports truly meets that thing called life. And as always, I would say this about any player. I would genuinely say that because I told you, Wake Up Call and everything I do, nothing about personal attacks, nothing about seeking somebody out. LeBron is an example because of where he sits at. I'd say the same thing about Kobe, and I would say the same thing about Jordan if this is what we were talking about. Jordan's cocky. Kobe was cocky, right? But LeBron, it's just like he lives in this universe where I don't think like he understands reality sometimes. And it's just like, it's sad for the game because a lot of people don't watch the NBA for a lot of reasons. And I know that if I brought my dad to an NBA game and there was like 3 guys sitting out, could be anybody, not LeBron, anybody. And my dad could be like, well, where's Anthony Davis? Oh, he's sitting out. Well, where's Luka Doncic? He's sitting out. Well, where's LeBron? He's sitting out. My dad would be like, then why did we come? Why are we here? So, just to make that clear, we could be talking about anybody. It's just that this polarizing LeBron situation of glorifying somebody that there's certain things that they don't sit right with me. The reasons why I respect Kobe and Michael are the same reasons why I'm not very fond of how LeBron does what he does. We got to talk about a few other things before we hop out of here, Murph. We're going to head to Major League Baseball for a second here. I'm going to go to that Major League Baseball world. And inside of Major League Baseball, I'd love to get your thoughts on one of these things here being Mike Trout. Now, I'm going to give people some background here. Mike Trout arrived at spring training this past Sunday, took part in a meeting with the Los Angeles Angels coaches, and they determined the 3-time MVP would move from center field to right field in an effort to preserve his body and keep him healthy. This is insane. When you think about how many times Mike Trout has been injured, by the way, here we go, a guy that was actually injured, that like wanted to play, right? He's 33. In my brain, he was almost 40 because I
can't process that.
Yeah, all the years that he's been injured and everything that's happened, 33 years old, and you're like, holy my goodness, this man has had so much game taken away from injuries. He said, I knew it was coming. I just want to be on the field, end quote. He spent his first 14 years as a dynamic center fielder. He never won a Gold Glove, but he continued to bring in highlight reel catches. He's going to be in right field now. Your thoughts on this? Is it a good decision?
I think it's a great decision. I mean, we've seen Mike Trout's career be, I don't want to say ruined because it's not over yet, but we've seen the career of who 5 years ago, I would have told you this is the greatest player I've ever seen that's not named Barry Bonds. Like, we were looking at a generational player, and he still is. When he plays, He is that same 3-time MVP, 40-40 type of guy. Now, he's not going to steal 40 bases again, ever. But he might steal 15 because he wants to preserve his legs. But he obviously got the back issue that he's been dealing with for the last handful of years. And it scares the crap out of you if you're Mike Trout and if you're an Angels fan.
Yeah.
I still think the best thing for Mike Trout's career is to get the hell out of LA.
Agreed.
Now, so from what I understand, his wife loves LA. He's very loyal to the Angels. He doesn't want to, get up and leave. So I get that.
Yeah.
But the best thing for his career is to get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
But right field, to me, it should have happened 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay.
He's the type of guy that he gives it everything he's got when he's on the field. And he plays until he can't. Now, end of last year, could he have come back? Yes. The Angels were well out of the playoffs, so he didn't. And I don't blame him. That's a situation where, like, okay, the guy's recovering from an injury. He could come back, but it might be a little too soon. If they were hunting for the playoffs, he would have come back. But being that they were well out of contention, there was no reason for him to, come back and risk further injury. But I've been a fan of Mike Trout forever. I still think he is the best player of this generation. And yes, that includes Shohei Ohtani.
Okay.
I really hope that this move to right field preserves his body. I really do. Because he is still one of the top 5 best players in the world when he's on the field. I would put him right there with Shohei when he's right. Literally.
No,
and it's hard to believe that he's 33.
Yeah.
You kind of put him and Bryce Harper right on the same career trajectory because they both came up around the same time. Trout came up briefly in 2011 and Trout and then Harper soon followed in 2012. They were each the American League and National League Rookies of the Year. So they've kind of had a similar trajectory. I mean, Harper's got 2 MVPs. Trout has 3. Plenty of All-Star Game appearances. But Mike Trout, as you can well remember, has been to the playoffs one time and has played 1 game.
And not with Shohei. So
through no fault of his own.
Right. Crazy, though.
He doesn't pitch.
Right.
Right? Like, it's not like he can go out there every 5th day and just shove and be great. The Angels have notoriously been one of the worst pitching development franchises in all of baseball. Right up there with the A's. Now, the A's have developed some decent arms in recent years. They developed Mason Miller into being a great closer. They developed Sean Manaea back in the day. They developed Frankie Montas. I mean, they developed some decent arms. But more recently, they haven't been able to do that. And the Angels have been the same way. Reed Detmers was a top pick, and they bring him up, and he's not that good because they don't know how to develop arms.
Let me hit you with this quick because I want to make sure we don't miss it. But I appreciate your points, and you're absolutely right. Mike Trout can only do what Mike Trout can do. Can't believe that he didn't make the playoffs with Shohei ever when they spent 5 seasons together. Aaron Judge and Juan Soto. Now, I think I said that Juan Soto and Pete Alonso were both going to be Mets. I think that I said that.
I did too.
So
thank you.
Yeah, Murph
we
said,
agree. So we were both right.
We were both right about that. So here's the thing. Now, 15 years for Juan Soto, $765 million could go up to $800 million. With
it will most likely go up to 800.
So insane. So if he does what he needs to do here, now Juan Soto had made the statement that he thinks that the Mets have the best chance to win over the next 15 years. Aaron Judge said, quote, "That's his opinion. He can say what he wants. I definitely disagree with him. He's going to be in a great spot. It's going to be great having him in the town. We're going to be battling back and forth for quite a few years." End quote. And Judge also said, quote, "I wasn't too surprised by it, the move that Juan Soto took." He said, "I think that's where he wanted to be. I think that's where is best for him and his family. He got a pretty nice deal over there. I mean, you can't say no to that, but I'm happy for you." end quote. Judge is also turning 33, seems so much older, on April 26th. And so obviously we have him and Soto going after it here. Who wins? And we got to hit this quick, but you and I are both going to make a determination here. Who wins a World Series first? Juan Soto with the Mets or Aaron Judge with the Yankees?
Call me biased all you want. I'm being completely unbiased here. It is the Mets. I don't think the Yankees can win with this group. Juan Soto, Aaron Judge, just remember something here, buddy. Juan Soto carried you to the World Series. You did nothing in the postseason. And you still think the Yankees are better? Sure, their rotation's better. Their lineup's not better. Not by a long shot. You ain't hitting 58 home runs again without Soto behind you. No shot. You might hit 50 homers again, but you're going to put up a goose egg in the playoffs. Aaron Judge is not a clutch player. He cannot perform in the postseason, and Yankees fans are figuring that out. He's not Derek Jeter. He might be the captain, but he's not Derek Jeter.
Yeah.
I'm only saying the Mets because I don't see the Yankees winning a World Series in the next 15 years. At all.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a matter of who wins one first. I just think it's a matter that the Yankees aren't going to win one, and the Mets are. I don't know when. Believe me, I might cry when they do. But I'm going to sit here right now and guarantee to you that at some point over the course of this next 15-year deal for Juan Soto, the Mets will win at least one World Series. Hopefully more, but they will win at least one. If they don't, my sports franchises are completely cursed, and I will never win anything in my life.
I'm gonna agree with you that I think the Mets will before the Yankees, because the Yankees, no matter how good they've been recently here, there's something to be said about the fact that this year, it felt like it could happen, and I feel like going into this upcoming season after this past season, I don't see it like I saw it for this one. So I think that they're maybe trending a little bit downward, and so I don't see them getting a World Series anytime soon. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick the Mets as well. So interesting, but that's where I sit at this morning. Murph, as always, I appreciate it. We didn't get to talk about Justin Tucker. I should have played the can't touch this.
Why do these things always come out all at once? Like, why does it happen with so many and then they all come out at once?
Because normally, this is, I shouldn't say
now now I almost start to feel like Deshaun Watson's are not true.
Well, the thing is that I think people jump on, right? Sometimes people are scared, right? People are scared to speak up. That is something that happens, right? And then there's also the other side of it where, like, then a ton of people speak up and you're like, how many of these are true? So it's one of those things where you kind of sit here and you say, remember, folks, people are guilty until proven innocent. Nowadays, something comes up on your ticker and you're like, well, that man's obviously a scumbag. That woman's a terrible person. So you got to kind of let the due process be the due process and actually vet this and see what the heck's going on, or else people can accuse people of anything at any time, and it would ruin everybody's life. And, people like to read stories, but nobody wants to be the story when it comes to stuff like this. So let's see what happens. It's unfortunate. He is my favorite kicker. He is absolutely my favorite kicker in the NFL of many, many years. But I can't speak to him, the person, and I hope that this stuff is not true, because it's a little disturbing of the very little that I read. But yeah, you just hope that it's not true, and you hope that things are okay. But I mean, if he's Bob Kraft, it'll be a joke, and nothing will happen. I mean, remember Bob? Remember how, like, they say, oh, we found the tape. It's funny how any tape that's connected to the Patriots gets destroyed. Or it just doesn't matter anymore. We caught Bob
Or it gets
Kraft.
deflated.
Yeah, or it gets deflated, right. So, But in the case of Bob Kraft, inflated? I don't know. I don't want to get into it. But
it really took the air out of the store, out of their sales.
Took the air. Well, yeah. Whatever makes you feel good, I guess, is what it looks like. I just hope these things aren't true because they're gross. And you just hope that whoever was affected in any negative way by anything that's gone on, that things get righted. But guilty until proven innocent. You go through the due process. That's how life is supposed to be. And
other way around.
Right, and not the other way around, because nobody would want to be in that case. People, like I said, people like to read it.
Guilty until proven innocent has been recently.
Guilty until proven innocent, that's been a very...
has basically been recent.
Right.
It's supposed to be innocent until proven guilty.
In the last few years, everybody's guilty no matter what. And so hopefully it's not true. I really hope it's not true. But I'm hoping the best for everybody involved. And, just, I don't even know. I don't even know what to say. So, but yeah. But we'll see what happens here. Deshaun, of course, and his stuff. So things will hopefully work out for the best for all involved. Murph, as always, I appreciate you being here. Look forward to talking with you soon. And thank you for joining me on a Tuesday.
Absolutely, my friend. We'll talk next week.
All right, take care. Coming from Murph here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. We are going to jump right into our conversation with Kevin McKeown here on McKeown and here on the broadcast on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We're going to take a step aside for a fast break, and then we'll be back here with Kevin right here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Stay with us. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you. Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
All right, you need to come out here and get yourself the Brooklyn Pickle. I was talking about this with one of my buddies. I was like, yo, there's no better sandwich in the state of New York than the Brooklyn Pickle. And now that I found out that they're going down to North Carolina, we are taking over your taste buds everywhere you are, wherever you're going to be. You need to get yourself out to the Brooklyn Pickle. Pinehurst, you just realized that you found yourself the best sandwich shop that you're ever going to have. This is a glorious moment. It's a blessing to your community. You're welcome. Brooklyn in the house, baby. Go over to the Brooklyn Pickle. You already know what it is.
You heard the man. Head to Brooklyn Pickle Pinehurst on 1788 Old Morgantown Road in Southern Pines, North Carolina. And a welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. Here for an all-new Bearcat Breakroom with Kevin McKeown, who will be joining me here in just a second, picture-in-picture, as we bring him in here. And always happy to have Coach here on the broadcast with us on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. So, Coach here on the broadcast on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. It is my honor and my privilege, like I said, to have here in this Bearcat Breakroom Kevin McKeown, the head coach of the Binghamton men's lacrosse team for the Bearcats. Today we are remembering, and all throughout for the rest of our lives, remembering the service to the community as well as being a student athlete and part of the men's lacrosse family, J.R. Gaudet, of the history of the Binghamton Bearcats men's lacrosse, and obviously talking about the 2025 season. So, Kevin, how are we doing today?
Doing all right, Dan. Appreciate you for having me back on again.
Absolutely. I appreciate your patience. I had a little rant this morning about LeBron James, so I appreciate your patience. So I do want to start this conversation off by remembering JR, a part of the Binghamton men's lacrosse family, played at Binghamton University, was obviously a student at Binghamton University, and then went on to serve the Binghamton University community and the Binghamton community and the Southern Tier community in and of itself, all of this area, as a member of the fire department. And last week, right before Valentine's Day, passed away trying to stop a fire. And obviously his wife and 3 children and everyone whose lives he touched is mourning his passing. I'd love to have some thoughts from you on JR and just maybe how this team is going to remember one of their brothers.
Yeah, well, obviously it's a really tragic situation. Since it's happened, it just felt very sad. Sad for the community, sad for JR's family. And, I think that, looking back on JR and remembering the couple years I spent here with them on the same team together, it wasn't a surprise that he did go on to become a firefighter. And, he was a local youth lacrosse coach. He was somebody who loved the game immensely. And I think also loved the local lacrosse community here, and wanted to be a part of making that better. And, it was cool to see him, continuing to do that over the years, as I was here, now coaching. And yeah, he was a really selfless individual. We talked to our team about that the other day, and like I said, it wasn't a surprise that he's gone on to become a firefighter and a volunteer youth lacrosse coach. And he was always someone that was looking out for others and had the interest in others in mind over his own.
Yeah, and Kevin, like you said, you got to spend a couple seasons playing alongside him at Binghamton on this men's lacrosse team. When you look back to those moments, what can you say about just his personality, just who he was on and off the field? Because as we remember him today, and I'm sorry for your loss as well and your teammates, you actually got to spend quality time with him, and you said you're not surprised that he's helping the community, that he did all of these things as a youth lacrosse coach as well as being a part of the fire department. What was it like to play alongside him?
Yeah, he was really a competitive individual. I definitely remember that. He was gritty. He brought a lot of grit to the field. A lot of energy, and was somebody who always competed. I think he wasn't somebody that took a lot of reps off in practices. So I think that combined with his love for the game and his like I said, his ability to put others above himself, and wanting to be someone that was just around to help his teammates out. For us, he was part of, I'm not sure how big our freshman class was, but maybe 25, 30 guys that came in the first recruiting class that Binghamton had. And he was one of 2 kind of local guys that were part of that team. So he and the one other individual, they were always kind of like trying to show us the ropes of what was going on in town, and wanted us to acclimate as quickly as possible. So we'll definitely remember that as a big piece of my memories of JR.
And you talked about that, being a part of that initial recruiting class and you being there as well. Coaching this program and looking back on the history of the program and saying, like, I was there in the beginning, and now I get to coach these student athletes in their beginning. Like I get to watch them do something special, which is come into a program for the first time and see them grow and develop and evolve. For you to be the head coach and to see the start of a program and then to be able to continue that program and see other people have the starting of their journey. What does that mean to you? And does it feel cyclical to you that you get to see this now yourself?
Yeah, I think it's something I definitely don't take lightly.
Yeah.
I think my time here was some of the most transformative years of my life. So to be able to be a part of that with others and be able to recruit guys to kind of go along that same journey is really cool. And one of the things I love most about the job. I also really love just seeing that 4 year process as guys grow and they get here as 18, 19-year-old freshmen and they leave as 22, 23-year-old young men going out into the world to do various things. The maturity is awesome to kind of see and to be part of that growth journey is something that like I said, I don't take lightly and understand the importance of it.
Kevin McKeown here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with Binghamton University for this Bearcat Breakroom. Coach, it's always so weird for me when we start lacrosse season because we're in the state of New York. And so, as there has been feet of snow, not inches, feet of snow that have happened here. We know that you've already been on the field, on the road at Lafayette College to start off the season. You're going to be at home in Vestal this Saturday, February 22nd, against Marist College. Have you spoken with the groundskeepers? Have we told the plow people how much we love them dearly to make sure that this field is ready? I mean, just bring me into the fact that you're used to it because you played in it and now you're coaching in it. But to have this lacrosse season, when we talk about spring and we think about spring sports and having this lacrosse season, obviously probably have snow around it here when you have your home opener against Marist.
Yeah, it definitely is at least half of a winter sport, maybe a little bit more here in upstate New York and at the college level. Starting games in February is pretty crazy. And certainly I think this winter's been one of the coldest that I can remember in all the years that I've been doing this, and we really just haven't had many breaks from 20s, teens, when we're looking at the temperatures. So always presents some challenges, but I think like we tell our guys, we got to just kind of roll with the punches, understand, we're not controlling some of these elements and make the best out of the days that we can, whether we're out on the field or we're indoors or, we're doing something maybe a little different for practice on a given day.
And you spoke on the guys here, Coach. We look at the roster for this season. I'm going up and down the line here, and I'm looking at, obviously, you have some transfer portal guys, and we're looking at some home states, a lot of New York, of course, but we also have Canada, we have Texas, we have New Jersey, we have Charleston, South Carolina. Bring me into this roster. We have Connecticut, Maryland, just making up this team, putting it together as you headed into the season, because Binghamton University, known as one of the top 10 national public Ivy League schools, it's not a school where education doesn't matter. So when you're in the transfer portal or you're going to look at a freshman or a prep school student and you're putting this team together, you obviously know that scholastically they have to have their act together, plus they have to have talent on their lacrosse field. How did you assemble this season's team when you looked at freshmen, the transfer portal, and just kind of bringing everybody together in this unit as you step forward? I know we're always going to see heavy New York, but we're seeing all over the country, we're seeing out of the country, and we're seeing some portals. So how did you assemble this knowing that Binghamton University is very high class when it comes to education?
Yeah, well, I think like you mentioned, New York's going to be our kind of primary hub first and foremost, and it will continue to be. But there's been so much growth of the game, outside of the traditional, Northeast, Mid-Atlantic areas, and there's a lot of young kids playing in the South, Texas, Midwest, West Coast to California. We got one guy from Oregon. We have a guy from Seattle right now.
Yeah.
And if those kids want to play Division I lacrosse, there's not a lot of opportunities, around where they grew up. So, they have to come, east and to the Northeast in a lot of cases. So, we see that there's a lot of talent out there, and I think, there might not be as much familiarity with Binghamton University, but I think as families start to explore and as we start to have those conversations with people, they see what type of academic institution we are, and I think that the academic, prowess here certainly helps us in recruiting when we're getting to the point where we're, recruiting young men and their families, and then they can kind of look at, well, what's their experience going to be like outside of lacrosse here, and what type of degree are they going to leave with, and I think people really see the value in what the university has to offer.
You brought up going coast to coast, going to Oregon, going to Washington, going outside of the country as well. Are you trying to kind of tap into areas that you feel like are untapped resources right now? I mean, every coach wants to be unique, right? You want to find your diamonds in the rough, and there's going to be student athletes that a lot of coaches are going to go after. There's, a lot of, you might be going through your conference and seeing people obviously on the recruiting trail, see people from New York State, different coaches from D1 programs, because there's a lot of them in New York State. So you are going after some similar players, but when it comes to the Washingtons and the Oregons of the world and being willing to go across the country, are you trying to find areas, schools that you think have really good programs, and find those pieces that maybe people aren't looking for? Is that something that we're looking at here when it comes to Binghamton, that some of these student athletes are from the quote unquote untapped resource?
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of that. I think certainly people probably, teams when recruiting starts on September 1st of the prospect's junior year, I think a lot of the teams are, maybe a little more focused on the traditional areas and strong high school programs, strong club teams that people watch play all summer. And I think we do some of that too,
Yeah.
but then as we kind of get into things and the dominoes start to fall in the recruiting process, I think we like to try to pump the brakes a little bit and open our lens a little bit and widen it to see some different guys. And certainly as we've kind of gotten into some different markets, that kind of you get a little bit of a foothold there, right? You develop some relationships with coaches and high school coaches and club teams, and I think that has helped us. And we've had a couple of guys from Texas over the years now. The West Coast has like you said is start to open up a little bit. So yeah, I think we're seeing that, and it's really cool. It's definitely way different than when I was in school. And 20 years ago, you didn't see a lot of West Coast South areas represented on Division I lacrosse rosters, and that certainly has started to change and is definitely changed now.
Yeah, and as we look at this, Kevin, when we see, like you said, there's different changes that have happened. There's changes to the schedule. There's some of those schools that we see in New York State, some that we don't see. And so when you look at the makeup of this season, and we look at, like, Marist is going to be your first home match, as we talked about here. But then after that, we have Hempstead, New York at Hofstra. We have Siena, which is going to be coming to you, obviously a school from Albany. We have Stony Brook that's on Long Island, and you're going to be out that way in Stony Brook, New York. And then that's UMass Lowell after that, NJIT, and then St. Bonaventure, which is another place in the state of New York. How important is it for you, and then University of Albany, of course, as we see later on in the season, how important is it for you non-conference wise to have those New York games? Do you feel like it helps the brand for Binghamton? Do you think it helps the rivalries? It helps the fan support and the experience to have a Hofstra, Siena, Stony Brook, a St. Bonaventure? Is there value in not only playing the quality of program, but is there value in going non-conference and really trying to make sure that you have these in-state opportunities?
Yeah, I think the close games are nice. I think you can develop some rivalries, as you kind of go through that, and a lot of the teams we play will, recruit a lot of the same guys that we do, or off the same teams maybe that we do. So there's familiarity between the players on the different teams, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of the Division One lacrosse programs are, in the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic, to Baltimore, DC. So, we're pretty fortunate where we don't have to travel, too far to play some quality competition.
For you, in the time that you've been the head coach for men's lacrosse at Binghamton, what have been some of those things that you feel like have really, because we've spoken on recruiting, we've spoken about scheduling and putting things together, creating some of those in-state rivalries, and like you said, guys that know each other because, recruited to the same place potentially. From recruiting to scheduling and assembling this team and then having played on the team yourself, what have you learned in your time coaching that you kind of sit back and say, going into 2025, I really want to make sure that I implement these things that I've learned when I'm looking at the big picture?
Yeah, I think having balance through it all is really important, whether it's, strength of schedule or, the types of teams we're playing, that is one thing we try to look at and, play some teams that have different styles. I think it's nice to get, a look at teams that, maybe play either a faster pace or a slower pace and play maybe different defensively and can challenge you in different ways and can expose you in different ways before you get into conference play, which is ultimately what we're building towards with these non-conference games. So I think having that balance, but also making sure that we're trying to challenge ourselves in different ways and learn and grow throughout the first half of the season.
I think we need to put my hometown Syracuse on the schedule, Coach. I think they
Yeah,
should. I think they
we
should come down to Binghamton, though.
I would agree. I would agree. Yeah, we could call up Coach right now and see if we can get it going. We had him down for a scrimmage in the fall years ago, and
Yeah.
we were on the schedule up there, and it's been a couple of years now since we've been up there.
Yeah, I mean, I came across a picture of you being up at the dome and shaking hands and whatnot. And I'm like, I think they should return the favor. I think Syracuse should come down to Binghamton. But Coach, before I let you go, to bring it all full circle here, to go back to JR, for you, like you said, you played with him. He's a member of this family. He stayed in the community. He continued to help the community in youth lacrosse and as a member of the fire department, as a first responder. And you said, I'm not surprised that he did any of those things. I'm not surprised that he stayed in the community. I'm not surprised in how he helped the community. What should we know about JR? Because his end of watch, and I'm sure you and I and everyone would agree, came way too early. What should we know about him? How does his legacy live on? And how can we better ourselves from knowing him? So I'd love for you to impart how his legacy lasts and what we should know.
Yeah, I think his legacy, like I mentioned, I talked to our guys about just how selfless he was, and it's actually one of the core values of our program and something that we talk about a lot. So it was really a good time, I think, for us to just kind of pause and take a kind of inventory of like how are we doing as being selfless individuals right now? Are we putting our team above ourselves? And I think as we tell JR story in the future, of our program, that's kind of what we'll lean on. So, I think everything that I think about, right, it just comes back to that word of selfless. So, I think as people remember him, I know there's going to be a foundation and scholarship kind of started by a local group here that will, I'm sure, go to a young lacrosse player or something. But we're just going to continue to talk about how selfless he was, and it'll be something for us to just kind of lean on his story to be able to grow as people and as a program.
How are you doing? Are you doing all right?
Yeah, doing okay. Doing okay. Obviously, like I mentioned before, really, really sad. Sad for his family and his wife and kids. But I think it's good to see there is a GoFundMe out there too that people can contribute to help out his family now. So definitely would encourage people to visit that.
Yeah, we'll definitely put out on our social media the GoFundMe link as well. Are you going to do anything this season to honor JR?
Yeah, we're looking. Our guys approached us about wanting to do something, whether it's on the helmets or looking at something potentially on our game shirts that we wear on game day and put his initials on there. So, we're gonna do something with the guys to kind of carry him with us through the season.
I know it's a tough thing, Coach, but moments like this are supposed to call us to recognize our relationships, appreciate them. Has it caused you to reach out to your teammates? Has it caused you to say, hey, that phone call or that text message that I wanted to make a few weeks ago, I'm going to make it today instead? Do you feel like in this moment of sadness, at the same time, maybe it's a moment of reminding to keep those connections, to foster those bonds that you had at Binghamton and make sure that they continue to grow? Has it caused you to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to have lunch with this guy, or I'm gonna call him up, or I saw that they just had a baby. I'm going to see how they're doing. Has it created some of those interactions?
Yeah, I think it definitely has. Sometimes it's unfortunate that sometimes these things have to happen for you to kind of pause and do some of that stuff. But yeah, there's definitely been more conversations and texts throughout the last week or so, and actually heading to his services here this afternoon. So we'll see some people, and I know we'll share some good memories of JR as he would want us to do.
I did want to ask you this really quick because I was watching something about it on the news. They said that it was no surprise that he's like the guy to run in, that he was like the bull to go in, and when it came to a fire or something like that, that kind of like no fear, get out of the way, I'm going in. Is that accurate?
Yeah, obviously I was never in that type of situation with him, but yeah, I would say that would like describe him as a person and player and practice. Like I mentioned, he was just like didn't shy away from physicality, was somebody who wanted to sacrifice his time and body for others. And yeah, so like I would agree. It wasn't a huge surprise.
My final thing here, because positivity is important to me, especially in these moments. What is your favorite memory with JR when you think back?
Yeah, I just think it's like the competitiveness and thinking back to him in practices and just remembering how fierce he could be, and I think he would toe the line sometimes of being really physical, but and maybe going overboard a little bit at times. But I think on teams you need some of those guys. You need some of those guys to push each other and make each other better. And certainly our game is a physical sport, so an element of physicality is something that you need. So I think that's what for me that I'll think of most.
Better having him for you than against you.
Yeah, 100%.
Kevin McKeown here, the head coach of the Binghamton Bearcats men's lacrosse team, as we honor and remember J.R. Gaudet, and of course today his services. So my best to you and to everybody that's going there. Please, I mean, obviously I did not know JR, but I send my best to you and to everyone who does know him and will keep his memory alive and his spirit alive, and to his family, of course, his wife and his 3 children. And Kevin also speaking on this 2025 season and what's to come. Kevin, we'll have you back on. This is the beginning of the season, so plenty more to have. But beyond everything else, God be with you. God bless you. And thank you for being the person that you are and the coach that you are. And I hope that whatever you need today and whatever you all need today, that you receive and that you truly feel JR's memory.
Thanks, Dan. Yeah, no, I appreciate you giving me this opportunity here, and look forward to chatting again.
Sounds good. Take care.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. That coming once again from Kevin McKeown here, and God bless to him and all of his loved ones as they get set for today in honoring J.R. Gaudet. We're going to jump right into our second Bearcat Break Room as we have a double dose here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora this morning, and that is going to take us to Jenna Chan, who is a hurdler for the women's track and field team, and not the first hurdler that I've had on in these last couple months here. And for the track and field season, I had the opportunity of celebrating track and field and hurdling with Liverpool and their program. So very excited to continue this conversation with Jenna coming on the broadcast in just a moment here, and I believe we have her. So we're going to go ahead and bring Jenna in picture here in this edition of the Bearcat Break Room. I want to remind everybody, obviously, you can find us on Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, X at Call DT, and Instagram at Wake Up Call _DT. So however you're connected with the show, make sure that you find us on every one of our outlets. We appreciate everybody that has, and we are inside these Great Lakes Honda City studios. So with that being said, Jenna Chan is here with us in this edition of the Bearcat Break Room, picture-in-picture from Binghamton University, a Binghamton hurdler on the women's track and field team inside the 2024-25 season and inside our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with Binghamton University. Jenna, good morning.
Good morning, Dan. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And as I was saying going into this is not the first time I've gotten to speak with hurdling this season when it comes to track and field. I got to do something with Liverpool High School in Central New York, and I find it incredibly awesome, unique, difficult. To you, it's like this is your thing every day, but to me, it's an absolutely incredible feat of the human body. So how did you get into hurdling?
Yeah, so I was a competitive gymnast for almost 5 years between ages like 8 to around 12 or 13. And I think that really sparked my hurdling ability, but it didn't come overnight, I would say. I quit gymnastics in 6th grade. I picked up track in middle school. It wasn't anything serious for me. It was just something that I needed to transition because I was training 6 days a week, 4 to 5 hours every day for 5 years. So I needed to let my self do something. And so it wasn't until the end of my freshman year that I started hurdling, because there were a bunch of seniors on my high school track team already that were hurdling and a part of that shuttle hurdle relay. And so the coach at the time was just like, oh, who is this freshman? Like, we don't need another hurdler on our team. So I was just messing around at practice one day, and they saw that I was able to, 3-step over the hurdles on my first try. So he was like, okay, let's throw her in. And ever since then, I started hurdling.
And like you said, I mean, going on to it and them saying, like, we don't need another hurdler, we don't need anybody else out here. And then they just watched you do it, and do it to an effect that, made the coach stop and say, okay, we need to make a change. I'm going to ask you this. It's the same thing I asked Liverpool High School, because this was kind of shocking now that I look back on it, my time in high school, is in gym class, they would have us go to the track, and they would just pick different things for us to do. And, people of all different athletic abilities, and they would say, okay, today we're going to do hurdles. And I thought to myself, people that are not trained in doing hurdles, it probably shouldn't do them. What are your thoughts on having a high school just throw everybody out there and say, good luck? Now, I figured out how to do it, Jenna. I don't know how. And when I jump, because you'd have to, like you said, the 3-step, you do the 3-step, and then I jump up in the air, I would spin in the air, come down, and jump again. So is there anything that you've ever heard about somebody spinning after successfully jumping a hurdle? And do you think that high schools should have non-athletes or athletes that have never done it? Should they be doing this? Because I feel like it's dangerous.
It could definitely be very dangerous. We never did it in gym class. I think for the better. I know someone from my high school when we were just messing around on the track during gym class, they broke their arm
Yeah.
trying to jump over a hurdle. So it's very dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. Um, but yeah, like I said, for my high school at least, we never touched any track events during gym. We weren't very like we weren't a track school, I would say. Like I know a lot of high schools that maybe people from here that go on the team, they come from a track high school, but my high school, West Essex, wasn't really known for that.
Yeah. Yeah. I just wanted someone who actually does this for a living to say it was dangerous.
Yeah, no, it for sure is.
So for you, like you said, you're in gymnastics and then you just kind of grew away from it. And then track was never supposed to be the thing, but it became the thing. How did gymnastics, because I can imagine from everything that you have to do with your body in that world of sport, that it helps you to be a hurdler. So even though you went away from gymnastics, what do you value about your experience there that you feel like kind of trained your body to be able to do what it does?
Yeah, I 100% think me being a gymnast has helped me become the successful hurdler that I've been able to achieve here at Binghamton. Like, for example, the vault, you have to run at that fearless 100% top speed. And I like to say, like, it's very similar to hurdling. You cannot run hurdles with fear, or you could really hurt yourself.
Yeah.
So just that mentality, really being in touch with my body, since gymnastics, you need to know like spatial awareness, where you are at all times. I think that translation, it goes hand in hand.
Jenna here with us in this edition of the Bearcat Breakroom. Do you have a favorite moment of when you have gone out there for track? And do you have a favorite hurdling moment, a moment that just kind of sits with you and you say, I can't believe that I pulled this off, or I can't believe that I did this as effectively as I did against this competition? Do you have a moment?
Yeah, I believe it was the 2023 Outdoor America East Championships. That was my sophomore eligible year, because I came in with the 2020 COVID year, so I lost that outdoor season my freshman year. I was coming in as the second favorite. I got second the year before at that Vermont championship meet, so I came into this Albany conference championship, just wanting to leave it all out there. And when it came to the finals, it was neck and neck. I don't know what margin it was, but me and the girl in second place were like zero point zero 0.01 or zero point zero 0.02 away from each other heading into that finals. And so running that finals hurdle race, I was able to hold the competition off by zero point zero 0.01. I strained my hamstring like over the ninth hurdle, and I just had the adrenaline in me to make it to that finish line and really fight for it. So that was definitely like one of my favorite moments here as a hurdler.
And we talk, and I appreciate you sharing that. I mean, you said you can have no fear when you do this, and you said your adrenaline kicked in when you strained your hamstring. I know, going back to those gym class nightmare days, that when they asked us to do it, if you ran and you're just looking at them and you're like, I got to clear it, and then you're just going to the next one, and you're just focused, that I was able to do it. But if you get scared, you would like run up to it and just stop.
Right.
So we talk about mentality, right? Mental toughness, mental strength, mental fortitude, whatever people want to call it. When it comes to hurdling, that is such a in-your-face reality that your mind has to be right. How do you just kind of close everything out, shut out fear, shut out I have a test that I need to study for, shut out something happened in my personal life? How do you mentally focus for the task at hand? Because your sport specifically, you cannot have that moment where your brain goes somewhere else.
Yeah, I like to say that I'm very in touch with my emotions and just who I am as a person. So if there's any like external factors that are coming my way, I try to block them out as best as possible. I like to, especially on meet day, I like to just be by myself. I don't like to speak to a lot of people. I kind of go mute, I go silent. I just like to stay in my own lane. And I try not to think too much. I think if you continue to keep thinking about it, especially the hurdles and like, oh, like what do I do next? Oh my God, like the hurdles coming up. I think that sets yourself up for failure in a way. So when I'm on that line, I really have no thoughts. I like to rely on my training. I mean, I've been training for this sport for so many years now. It's kind of like I'm on autopilot once that gun goes off. It's better to just not think almost.
So you've said that you've successfully figured out how to not think. Most of this world would be like, Jenna, put it in a bottle and send it to me. How have you successfully been able to shut your brain off? Like you said, go mute, don't think, it's all quiet. How have you said you've done it. How have you done it? What are those ingredients to success that you've essentially put together to do something that so few people have found success in doing?
I think a big thing is if there, as you said, like those external factors, if something is coming my way that I know is not going to sit right with me or affect me in some way, I just try to block it off and almost like try not to take it personally, whatever that may be. I just like to really stay in my own lane and block everything out. I try not to let what people say or things around me. I try just to deflect it almost. Like I don't want to worry about it in that moment. If it's meet day and something happens, I'll deal with it another time. It's just not that like in that moment.
I love the fact that you can do it. Teach us more. So we're here in your graduate student year. We know that Binghamton University, and you, like you said, you came in during COVID, so you had time that was taken away from you, unfortunately and sadly for so many student athletes. But the NCAA did open the door to get that back. To be a graduate student, I know that Binghamton University is not even a hair of a slouch, right? Top 10 public Ivy League school. So what did you study bachelor's wise, and what are you studying as a grad student and kind of your hopes for the future?
So my undergrad, I was a business administration marketing major, and then I'm doing the 4+1 program. So I'm getting my MBA with a concentration in marketing and management information systems. I think there's two parts, I think, for me doing this fifth year. At the time, I didn't have a job lined up, and I also had that indoor eligibility. So I was like, why not? It's a no-brainer. Let me get a higher education and still compete for Binghamton. And I'm very fortunate. I do have a job lined up. I did an internship this past summer at Ross stores in New York City, so I'll be back there once I graduate.
So going back to New York City.
Yes.
Now, are you going to be living are you going to be like, are you going to be home? Are you going to challenge the living in New York City? I'm asking this because I have spent enough time in New York City over these last few months, few years, to say that I like to visit, but I don't like to be in the heart of it. Are you going to put yourself in the heart of it?
I go back and forth on it every day. My commute, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's like an hour 15 from home. I'm from North Jersey, so I would have to, check it out. But if there's a good housing opportunity, I'll definitely live there. But for now, the plan is to commute for the foreseeable future.
All right. Well, I don't disagree with that at all. Now, when we look at and like you're talking about home, like you said, coming from Jersey, you said Essex, right?
Essex County.
Yeah. So being in Essex County and it's Roseland, New Jersey, for you, how would you describe home growing up in New Jersey? What did it look like? What were like the tastes and whatnot? I always like to get a feel for what's the food that you went for? What are the things that you did? What was life growing up in Essex County?
It's definitely a quiet neighborhood. It's pretty small. Not many people would know what Roseland is. It's a little suburban town. I went to a regional district high school, so there were four other towns with me, and they're all pretty similar, pretty small towns. Not the quickest pace if we want to compare it to New York City, but there's definitely things to do. In terms of food, there's any kind of food you would want. It's a diverse, I would say, in terms of that. It was definitely a great place to grow up in.
So you said small town feel, but still has things to do. What was your favorite thing to do growing up? And you said there's a lot of different food. I want to know, like, if you got to teleport home right now, where you would go and why.
Um, I'm not sure. It's, you know, well, going back to growing up, because I was in sports and athletics like gymnastics, I that was my day-to-day life, honestly, every day. I like lived in the gym, so I don't know what I would say for that one.
Okay.
But in terms of food, there's a great bagel spot. I know there's like a controversy between New York and New Jersey bagels, but I still would say Jersey bagels are the best.
Okay. All right. Jersey, as long as you have egg everything bagels, do you have those?
I That's not my go-to order, but I'm sure we have that.
Okay. For whatever reason, Binghamton has connected me to bagels so many times in these Bearcat Breakroom conversations. And I guess fitting because in the break room you typically have food. So what is your go-to bagel choice? If it's not egg everything, what are you ordering and where are you ordering it from? So if you go back to Jersey, tell me the place, tell me the order.
I go to Sam's Bagels. It's
Okay.
in West Caldwell, New Jersey. I just get the classic. I get a bacon, egg, and cheese on an everything bagel.
Well, you said everything and you said bacon, egg, and cheese. The only thing that you missed was the egg part of it, but
Right.
We agree. We
I
agree
guess
on
so. Yeah.
on 80% of what you said. So
Yes.
I do want, and you're going to have to sit back and relax for this for a second, Jenna, because I'm going to go ahead and talk about all these great things that you've done. So this season alone, when we look at the Sykes and Sabick Challenge that we had in early February here, you won the 60 hurdles and broke your own school record. And looking at that performance, you finished at the top on the women's side of things. You came into Saturday's meet having twice won the 60s hurdles this indoor season with a school record time of 8.44. On Saturday, you lowered that mark to 8.35. Your time is the fastest in the America East so far this season. So coming in, having won the 60 hurdles more than once, you did it again on that Saturday, and now we have a school record time and the fastest time in the America East at 8.35 in the 60 hurdles. Bring me into it, and do you plan on beating your record again?
The goal is always to be faster than the last. If you look at my stats from this season, I've stayed very consistent, and any runner knows that if you continue to run the same time over and over again, you're ready to run faster. So coming off of this weekend, a lot of teams did take off to rest, but I think it's a unique scenario for us fifth years right now that came in just because it's our last season. I want to leave this sport with no regrets. So I chose to run it. I ended up tying my school record. So going into this championship meet, I feel more confident than ever.
And we look at the fact that you have recently here been named February 11th, this came out, that you've been named the America East Female Track Athlete of the Week. Second time this indoor season and fourth time in your career that you've gotten the conference's weekly accolade. Bring me into that not only for yourself personally, for your time at Binghamton, but to now 4 times be named the Athlete of the Week for female track inside the America East, twice this season, 4 all time. Just what it means to you for the America East as a conference to honor you as their female track Athlete of the Week.
No, it's honestly a great feeling anytime those reports come out. I never expect it, just because there's so many athletes within this conference. It's honestly such an honor, and like I said, I don't like to think about like those awards coming up after I run a race. Like that's never where my head goes. It's great to be recognized for everything that I was able to accomplish.
Yeah, and looking back at this, it's incredible to go through some of the things we already talked about here, that you won the 60 hurdles in the process at the Sykes and Sabick Challenge, You've now won the 60 hurdles 3 times this season. You've either set or tied your own school record in the event each time. And then you clocked a first place time of 8.44 that we mentioned at the Greg Page Relays on December 7th and the Upstate Challenge on January 18th. You said if you run consistently, then there's the reality that you can run faster, which you just did here in February. And you were named the America East Indoor Field Athlete back on December 10th and also chosen on December 6, 2022, as well as February 6, 2024. You've won the America East Indoor title in the 60 hurdles in 2022 and 2023 and were the runner-up last season. So when you look back on your time at Binghamton University and all of these things that you have been able to do and how you've pushed yourself and what that's created, do you give yourself a moment? I mean, do you just kind of stay in the race until the race is over type of thing, like you're still in it? So I'll think about this all day and when I'm graduated and I have my degree? Or do you let yourself be proud and be grateful for all the work that you put in and say, okay, I'm gonna enjoy the moment. I'm gonna take this in. I'm not gonna rest in it and say like this is the best I can do. I'm gonna keep pushing myself. But do you let yourself enjoy it now, or will you let yourself enjoy it after Binghamton?
I I don't know. I think I do both in a way. I think if I soak in it too much for too long, I think that distracts myself from, the next task at hand. I'm a big time planner, so, I like to like run a little bit faster the next time each time. So I'll celebrate the win when it happens, but the next day it's game time again. I don't like to ever be stagnant. I like to just look forward and set the new goal.
Well, I can appreciate and respect the work that you have done. And like I said, the life of a hurdler is so difficult. When I look at track and field in general, a lot of people pay attention during the Olympics. But this is a year-round thing, like you said. When it comes to training, it comes to fitness, it comes to nutrition, it comes to planning. What has been the most rewarding part of being inside of track and field for you personally?
I think the most rewarding thing about this sport is just the people I've met along the way and all of the life lessons it's taught me. I think, athletics in general doesn't have to be track, but it's such a different world and it teaches you so much that I think people not in sports, it might be harder for them to understand where we're coming from or our perspectives on a lot of things and just in life. So, I made some of the best friendships and connections here throughout my 4.5 years, and I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world.
I love hearing that. I mean, that's what can be better than the relationships that we create. And as we look at women's track coming up here for Binghamton University, we just had something here recently, and it's crazy how fast February is moving because I see February 14th on the schedule. I'm like, Valentine's Day didn't happen yet, but it was last week. So the next thing that we have up here, like you had mentioned, February 22nd and February 23rd, Saturday and Sunday, the America East Championships, and then there's more to be had beyond this. There's plenty to be had here. So for people that don't understand the scheduling, and I want to get into this for a second with you for women's track, is that we see the America East Championships, the ECAC IC4A Championships in March, NCAA after that, and then it's NC State, and then it's William and Mary, and so on and so forth. So they think like after the NCAAs, it's over, but it's far from over. There's all different pieces to this season. There's the Virginia Challenge, the Penn Relays. How would you describe this? Because people think of seasons as you go, in the case of track and field, you go to a meet, you go to an event, right? And you have all these individual hosted events. When that's done, you go to conference, you go to NCAAs. That's what people think. But in the case of the actual schedule collegiately, is you have the opportunity for that postseason, and then we're jumping right back into other parts of the season. So just how you would describe it.
Right. So track is one of those unique sports where it doesn't stop. If we can get even deeper into it with cross country, they have their fall season, winter, and then spring. So our training it's catered towards us. It's, very strategic because we do have a long season. Right from indoors, we have a few weeks off, and then it's right into that spring season. It comes up on you so fast. So for someone like me, where we go from the 60-meter hurdles to the 100 hurdles, where you add 5 more hurdles, it's crunch time within that window. So had I like if I was to do a spring season, typically we would start that 100 hurdle training now, like during the winter season before it's even over, just because it comes up very quickly. There's no downtime.
No, not at all. And incredible, because I'm looking at this going, it's almost over, and then it's like, no, not even a chance. So there's a thing we do here on the broadcast, Jenna, that we call rapid fire. We get to put each other on the hot seat. We can ask each other any question, any topic, anything, first thing that comes to our mind. So in this Bearcat Breakroom, in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with Binghamton University, Jenna Chan and I are going to play rapid fire. Jenna, you get to ask the first question.
Okay. Who was your most memorable interview you've ever done?
That's tough. So there's been over 5,000 people on the show, and I've lost track of what that number is now. And I would say that everyone's had their place, as far as just people are just unique. And I like uncovering what that uniqueness is. I would honestly say, if I had to pick somebody on Wake Up Call, I really liked there's a lot that come to my mind, but there's something I got to do that really just felt different, and I had a vision for it. So Symir Torrance, who's from Central New York, he went to play at Marquette for college basketball, and then he went to Syracuse, and then he went to Binghamton. And when Cy was all done, we went to the Syracuse Academy of Sciences, where he had played, which is, right there in Central New York and in my hometown. And we went to the court, and I put 2 chairs on the court right at center court, and with the logo and everything. And we just did like this full-blown conversation about anything and everything, no holds barred. Like, tell me how you feel about what's kind of gone on in your life and in your career. And I just felt like that was a really interesting way to do it and a moving way to do it. And it brought to life logistically on screen kind of how I see the show, which is very much like, I believe people trust me and how I do what I do and the energy that I bring. And yeah, I feel a lot of people have told me I was terrified to do it. Then I did it. Now I can't wait for the next one. And I appreciate that kind of bringing down the wall. And I think in that conversation, it was really aesthetically looking like how it looks like thematically for me, which is to just break down all those walls and just tell the story and have somebody feel safe because they are. So I'm going to pick that conversation with Cy, and I'm going to show some love back to Binghamton because he did finish his career there. And I love Cy, and he's been really, really good to me. We're family. So, yeah, I'll probably pick that one. But it's difficult. So, Cy, if you're watching and listening, look at that shameless plug for you. So, my question back to you. All right, Jenna. If you could take over my show for a day, so it's Wake Up Call with Jenna Chan, who is going to be, you can pick 3 guests. Who are going to be the 3 guests that you have on my broadcast as you host it, and why did you choose them?
I would say the first one has to be Nastia Liukin.
Okay.
She was my inspiration growing up for gymnastics. She was a big reason why I got into that. So I think that just starts my journey as an athlete. So I would love to speak with her. I would then say Simone Biles, another gymnast. She's the greatest of all time. I relate to her a little bit just because in the previous Olympics, she had something with the twisties, and a big part of why I had to stop gymnastics was because of that. It was a mental block on every event, and it's something that a lot of athletes don't. Some do go through it, but to the outside person, they might not understand like why can't you just do it, you know? So I would love to hear her perspective on that since that like, that was a pivotal time in my life. Um, and then I guess maybe one of my parents, I'm not sure, both of them collectively.
Okay.
Just I love my parents. I'd love to, just chat with them on here.
And mom and dad's names are
Cindy and Jackson.
Cindy and Jackson. So, what do you want to say to like? And I love that you said that. You said I just love them, so I'd like to talk with them. What would you like to say to Cindy and Jackson right now?
Just thank you for everything. They've been so supportive throughout my entire like life. There's like not a meet where they haven't showed up. They travel hours throughout my collegiate career to watch me perform live. So, just thank you so much for all the time and energy that you've put into this.
I love that. Honoring mom and dad. Respect. What's your next question for me?
How did you get into podcasting or I guess connecting with people?
It started a long time ago, and it started in college. So I was at Marywood University. Binghamton is literally the middle mark between my hometown of Syracuse and Marywood. It's like it's an hour from me, and then Marywood is 2 hours, like to the nose. So went to Marywood University. I started my career. I mean, I've always had a passion for telling stories. I've been writing since I was 5. My imagination has run wild my whole life. I love creating. I love being unique. I love being original. I love seeing a bunch of paved roads and then going and like cutting through the brush and making my own. So that's always been me. Love bringing people together. Love making people laugh. Love telling people stories. I never thought that being an honest, God-fearing, caring person in the media would be rare, but it feels very rare at times. So I think, how did I get into it? I love people. I love connecting. I love making my world small. I love building things. I love seeing people get excited. Everyone has a story to tell, so I love telling people stories. And I've always been this way. Like I started my career covering women's athletics when it was not cool. When people were like, why would you waste your time? That's so stupid. Making fun of me for it. It was ridiculous in 2003 when I covered women's basketball. And when I had made the statement, I didn't think it was ridiculous, but other people did. And when I had made the statement, when they said, you're going to cover basketball, we're going to do this broadcast, NCAA broadcast for D3. And I said, men's and women's. And they said, well, definitely men's. And I said, I'm not doing it unless I do both. And that was like 2 decades before the world thought, maybe we should cover women's athletics. Maybe we should care. So I have been around women's sports my whole career. And because I believe in God and because of the way I see the world and try to see it through his eyes, I don't see color or gender or religion or money or nationality as a crutch. I see everybody on an even playing field and I treat people with respect and then I watch how they treat me back. So for me, when someone's like, why would you care about track or why would you care about bowling or crew or, it's just basketball and football. I'm like, no, there's good people everywhere. And I just really try to like get into why people do it. Like, what is your why? Why do you care? Why does it matter? And I just find incredible conversations. So I guess the short answer is I'm a storyteller who just loves bringing people together. And the long answer that I gave you is, why would I cover one thing and not the next? Like, I'm the type of person where if you put me on a teleconference and you say you could talk to 16 coaches or one, I'm going to hit the button on every coach because I want to get to know them all. And my whole plan that I built up with this multimedia marketing partnership for colleges and universities is to tell the college and university, every one of your sports will be on an even playing field. Win, lose, or draw, they will all be covered. And so we're going to put an emphasis on the sports that get no love, and we're going to put an emphasis on the sports that do, and we're going to treat them all the same. So I think what I'm doing with Binghamton now is proof in the pudding of, like, I treat women's track the way I treat men's basketball, because I just think it's really cool to celebrate people. And this has been one of my, favorite conversations, Jenna, because I could tell how passionate you are. And I just think that that's the thing, that if you have passion and you have love and you have work ethic and desire, who doesn't want to hear that story regardless of the occupation? So I do it because I love the opportunity of making my world really tiny and showing people that there's greatness all around them, and that there's people that are working really hard, that are going through adversity, and they're not giving up. So I feel like telling your story, if that can help somebody that's watching, then why not tell the story? If that answers the question.
No, it does. I agree with everything you've said.
Well, appreciate that. My question back to you, and I appreciate that question. If you could, so you love your parents, you want to take care of them, be good to them. If you could go anywhere in the world with your family that you've never been, where would you go with mom and dad? And so where would you go that you've never been? You can pick one activity in this place. So where do you go? What's that one thing you have to do? And you can take one celebrity with your family. Who do you take?
Oh gosh. I don't know. I mean, I love Europe. I traveled there for the first time this past summer and fell in love with it. So maybe I'll just drag them along with me, even though they probably don't want to go. Um, a celebrity. I don't know. I feel like there could be just like anyone. I don't know. Um, maybe I'll just take maybe we'll take Simone Biles again. We'll
Okay.
just keep bringing her into this.
Okay.
And in terms of Europe, let's see. I want to do something adventurous, something outdoorsy. Um, I don't know, like Eastern Europe, somewhere there. It doesn't have to be specific. Just we'll go somewhere where there's mountains or whatnot. It doesn't. We could just go day by day as
Uh,
long as we're all together.
all right. Fair enough. I like it. Simone Biles, mom and dad, and you just traversing the mountains of Eastern Europe. I
Yeah.
like it. What's your final question for me?
Where do you see yourself in like 10 years?
It's always a tough question to answer, because I day by day challenge myself, and I truly believe I could do anything because I know that I can. So with God at my side, I could do anything. And so where do I see myself in 10 years? I would like to have finished a script that I've been talking about. I worked on something in college, and it's in me to write it. So I would like for Sony, if you're watching and listening, Sony, I would like for you to, because I was an extra in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, I would like for Sony to hire me to work on Spider-Man movies only. And I mean, I could do other stuff, but to literally just give me my own floor, let me work this thing, let me make these movies. I have had ideas my whole life. Let me write it. Let me figure it out. I'll crank out stuff every couple of years, and we'll get this thing set back right. So, I mean, in the next 10 years, I'd love to do more with my comedy. I would love to do more with my storytelling. I'd like to sing something somewhere, because I've been singing all my life, so that would be important too. So, I mean, I think in the world of screenwriting, singing, and stand-up comedy, I would like to figure out where and how, and make that in addition to what I'm doing. And I would just like to expand the amount of people that we talk to and the places that we go. I mean, I just got to cover the college football national championship, and that was insane. So, I mean, I'm the type of person that speaking of Eastern Europe, if I get to the top of a mountain, I look around and I'm like, okay, where's the next highest peak? Yeah. So it's a tough question for me to answer because I could tell you something today and then I could feel that in my heart something else and God going like, hey, do this. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to go do stand-up comedy and I'm going to wait on the script. But I think it's just time for me to go a little bit deeper into those things that matter to me like this does and to discover what that looks like and what it feels like and how I'm going to do it. So I guess the best thing I could say, Jenna, is stay tuned.
Can't wait to see.
Yeah, thank you. My question back to you, I am a food person because I just love create. I love to cook. Do you cook or no?
Yes,
Okay.
I can. Not great. It's the same meals every time, but the meals I know how to cook, I think are good.
Okay. So I'm going to go with food. I'm going to say the best thing you've ever cooked. So that's one. So it's going to be a 3-part question. Best thing you've ever cooked. Worst thing you've ever eaten that you're like, please don't ever give that to me again. And your guilty pleasure food.
Okay, so the best food I can cook, you said?
Best thing you've ever cooked, yeah.
I feel like I can cook a pretty good butter chicken right now.
Okay.
I just recently made that, so that's what I'm having this week. I feel like mine is edible.
Okay.
The worst foods, I hate like anything like pudding consistency, like Jello or like I just hate that stuff.
Okay.
Like mushy bananas, things like that. I don't like to eat. So that would be the worst food I've had.
Okay.
And then a guilty pleasure food is do desserts count?
Yeah. Yeah.
I love a good snickerdoodle cookie.
Okay. All right. Snickerdoodle cookie. The second thing you said was the correct answer because tapioca and rice pudding are two of the most awful creations that mankind made. I got sick on rice pudding when I was 10 years old, and I still will not eat it because I can remember how I felt that day.
Yep.
So
It's just the consistency.
Yeah.
It's not great.
it's gross. So butter chicken, no tapioca pudding, no rice
Nope.
pudding. If somebody makes that for you, they don't love you. And
Right.
and snickerdoodle cookies. We can agree on that. So with that being said, Jenna Chan here, continuing to do big things and just another step away from breaking another record. Bearcat Breakroom, Binghamton Hurdler on the women's track and field team inside the 2024-25 season. Jenna, it's your first time here on the show, but look forward to the opportunity to have you back, and I definitely appreciate the time today.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'll talk with you soon. Take care.
Take care.
That coming from Jenna Chan one more time here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. It's time for us to take a step aside here on Wake Up Call inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. So many great things, and we still have another segment. We still have the ingredients to success. So we'll get into that. It's about time management, and we'll get into that conversation right after this on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. Stay with us. Here's a message from Renee from Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York. Open Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and Sundays for brunch.
It's a lot like the way that my mom and dad ran their restaurant. We have put in place a lot of people that are family to us, very similar to how my dad hired people that were family to him. And then the tradition I'm carrying on is a lot of the items that are on our menu are my dad's. And he taught our chefs how to recreate his dishes. So I think that Tommy McNerney, who our executive chef is, to him it is an art. And I think that when he does create a dish, it's not just about making the food taste delicious, which is definitely our priority, but it's an art to him, and it's almost like his canvas on a plate where he just wants the colors to look great, and people love it because he takes pride in that. And Brian and I appreciate that. We want it to obviously look good and taste good. I will tell you, when we opened up, it was 6 weeks before COVID. And what was amazing was the community, our friends and family stepped up, and everybody did takeout. Everybody supported us. Our hearts were just so filled. So to Brian and I, obviously our friends come all the time, and we just have repeat customers in Jamesville, and I think people going to our previous restaurant in Green Lakes are making the trip to come to Brian's Landing to support us. And I mean, I think we have great food and a great atmosphere. So it's very, very important to us.
Head to Brian's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York, where memories have become recipes that are now meals to share with you. Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and on Sundays for brunch. And be sure to come out for live music Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Here is a special message from Brian Bruno, owner of Servomation Refreshments Incorporated.
I grew up in the family business, had the experience of working for a national food service company with thousands of employees, and as much as I enjoyed the experience I had, there was something about, owning my own company and being able to change the things I saw wrong with the industry firsthand, which is why I moved back to my hometown in Canastota, New York to launch Servomation. It was back in 2007. When we first started the business in 2007, really you didn't find any machines with credit card readers. There was a lack of variety in machines. You got stuck with basically whatever the vending company wanted to sell that day. There's a lot of inefficiencies in the business, and those were all things that we saw as opportunities, both from a customer level to improve and from an operating level to be more efficient. We've really been at the forefront of introducing retail technology into our space. We were doing self-checkout back in 2009 before it really became a national phenomenon. The whole point of it isn't to just improve the customer experience. It's to make it feel more like a retail environment where people don't have to be afraid of what they're buying behind glass. They don't have to be afraid of not being able to see the ingredients of the packages. It was an easy transaction from that standpoint. If we were to reinvent something, we wanted to make sure what we were making looked and felt more like a deli and not like something that you would traditionally see in a vending machine. I was tired of hearing for years the customers say the wheel of death because the vending machine would circle around with the same tuna salad in it. What we wanted to do was it really change the perception of that food. So allowing customers to touch it, allowing customers to feel the weight of it, allow customers to see the freshness of it, and also the variety of it really helps them change the perception and ultimately the value of what we bring to them. The point of differentiation you have to make is either in value or the quality. And I think on both of those fronts, Servomation has really, in large part, changed that value system for employees. So they no longer have to worry about bringing their food from home or having to leave their desk during the day and rush out to get back in time for their break to end. We're bringing something that they can count on in their break room every day, and they know it's going to be there, they know it's going to be fresh, and they don't have to worry about it being sold out or something that they don't enjoy. We've also heavily invested in flavored water machines, so you can get a glass of water with a fresh piece of fruit in it, along with bean to cup coffee machines. So there's not a day that goes by we're not surprised when we get customers that call us and say, we didn't know you could do all this. We're really lucky to have a strong group of dedicated employees. Most of our employees have been with us since inception. They're family to us, and people like doing business with people they like and trust. And I think the same thing goes for employees. In a day and an age where there's a lot of corporations that just look at an employee as a number and don't get to know them, that's just not the way I was raised or how I like to do business. So we're a little old-fashioned. We like getting close to our employees. We like knowing how we can help them. We like knowing how we can improve their lives, adjust their schedules, whatever it may be to help improve their quality of life. And we think in the end that makes for a happier employee. We're fortunate enough to have really grown over the last several years, and from Pennsylvania to Massachusetts to Connecticut, we really do have a strong connection, even though we're not in the rooms every day with these employees. There's not one single employee that we feel like we don't know, and certainly we know they can call us at any time, and they're definitely treated as family to us. I wake up every single day really excited to surprise our customers in a good way. The one thing I can tell you is I think that every one of our employees and every one of our customers will continue to be at the forefront of every decision we make.
Find out how Servomation can help you and your business by going to servomation.com. Avicolli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicolli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicolli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there, and of course you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100, and also find them on myavicollis.com. That's myavicollis.com. Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Campground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Campground and where your dog will be staying in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Campground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9campground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and campground spelled with a K.com. K9campground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Campground.
Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
GG Cards and Breaks. Like, comment, subscribe.
GG Cards and Breaks comes to you on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York. You'll find GG Cards and Breaks open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on Sundays from 10 to 5. So make sure you make your way over to GG Cards and Breaks for soccer, hockey, basketball, baseball, football, and more, including Disney Lorcana, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic the Gathering, and Pokemon cards while supplies last. They just got a ton of PSA cards in there. That means their graded cards have come in for us, so we can get those cards that we love with those great PSA grades that are there in the new display. So make sure you don't miss out on that. And of course, singles, autographs, RPAs, which stands for Rookie Patch Auto. So many different things. There's potential one-of-one cards that you can find at GG Cards and Breaks. There's also the opportunity to get autograph cards from actors and actresses. They have so many cool things and different things there, and they're constantly building up their inventory. So you don't want to miss a moment of GG Cards and Breaks and all the beautiful things they have to offer, from singles as well as packs and boxes where you can open them up and you have no idea what you're going to get. You can get something really cool and something really interesting. I can say personally, from my own experience at GG Cards and Breaks, some of the best cards that I've ever opened, the best boxes and packs I've ever had, have come from GG Cards and Breaks. So head out there today, 639 Del Mar Place in Syracuse, New York, and let them know that DT sent you. Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 6, and on Sundays from 10 to 5. With that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life, and as our final piece of every Tuesday broadcast that we, inside of the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, bring you the ingredients to success. The ingredients to success, proudly presented by Avicolli's on 7839 Oswego Road in Liverpool, New York, right down the street from Liverpool High School. You could stand at the corner where Avicolli's is and look straight, and you'll find Liverpool High School. And across the street, you'll find one of the Bryan and Stratton Syracuse campuses that's out in Liverpool. So Bryan and Stratton's right there, as well as Avicolli's and Liverpool High School. And we do all of our Liverpool broadcasts on site, on location at Avicolli's. So make sure you come out and support student athletes, coaches, and administration of Liverpool High School with us monthly at Avicolli's, 7839 Oswego Road in Liverpool, New York. So with that being said, it is time for the ingredients to success. Every Tuesday we bring it to you. And my ingredients to success topic today is time management, something that I am just not good at sometimes. And I really, honestly, am trying to get better at it. But time management, right? It's a thing that we struggle with. And I'm one of those people that I'll call myself out. I could be a lot better at time management. I'm late to most things. So I need to make sure that I'm not late anymore. What are some good tips for time management? Well, how about this? Whatever time you're typically going to leave 15 minutes before that, right? So let's say you got to go to the Dome. And the Dome's 20 minutes away. So you normally give yourself 30 minutes to get there. Add 15. Give yourself 45. Because then if there's traffic, if God forbid there's an accident, right, whatever's going on, you can get there, you can get comfortable. Because if you're 20 minutes away and you give yourself 30 minutes and anything happens, you might be getting there by the skin of your teeth. You give yourself 45 minutes and it's 20 minutes away. Now you can go there, sit down, and maybe have 10 minutes in your seat before the game even starts, 15 minutes in your seat. So a good ingredient for success for time management, add on 15 minutes to whatever, take how far it is away, and then add 15 minutes onto it, at least, right? If it's 20 minutes away, give yourself 35, 40 minutes, something like that. So give yourself some extra ample time to get there. You know, that's something to look at is the rule of 15. Give yourself 15 more minutes. And I would also say you don't have to say yes to everything. That's something that I had to learn over time is I don't want to say no to anybody, right? I wanted to say yes to everything that I could possibly do. And what I realized was as good as it is to try and be there and to do everything, it also, if you say yes to literally everything, then it's going to make you late, right? If you say, well, I could do this and I could do this and I could do this and I could do that, and I'm only giving myself a certain amount of time, right? Or I only have a certain amount of time in my life to get it done, then what are we actually doing here? And I find that I would say yes to so much that I would be late to almost everything, not because I'm dilly-dallying, not because I don't care, but because I didn't give myself enough time. So that leads me to my other ingredient to success for time management. Make sure that you give yourself enough time in between, right? The time in between is important. If you have a meeting at noon, don't schedule a meeting at 1, right? Unless you know it's going to be a really fast meeting, don't schedule a meeting at 1 if you got one. Like if you have a meeting at noon and you say, okay, I'm going to do a noon lunch meeting. Well, lunch is usually an hour, right? So let's say you leave at 12. Let's say you get done at 12:45. You get in the car by 12:50. Now you got a meeting at 1 o'clock. What time are you going to get there? Because even if the meeting's down the street, you could end up barely getting there, right? You know, like maybe you get there at 12:55, 12:56, 12:58. But I think in learning that you can say no to certain things, I've learned also to not have like back-to-back meetings if I can help it, because if one of those people are late or if you're late, the chances of every meeting starting late now, because it's a chain of events, right? If you have a noon meeting and you show up there at 12:05 and the meeting's an hour and you got your next meeting at 1 o'clock, well, now you're leaving this meeting at 1:05, 1:07, right? And then you got to drive to the other meeting. So now you're late to that meeting that was at 1 o'clock. Now you're starting that meeting at 1:18. So now your 2:30 meeting, that could start late. And it just keeps, it spirals. So you have to give yourself enough time to get somewhere. And then you have to give yourself enough time in between the somewheres that you need to get to. So if you have a meeting at 12 and you say, okay, well this, you know, normally when I have lunch, I take about an hour, don't make a 1 o'clock meeting. And then, you know, your meeting after your 12, let's say you make it for 1:30, 1:45, that meeting, you know that you guys get going and it's never an hour, it's always over an hour. So don't make a meeting at 3 o'clock because it's only going to give you an hour and 15 minutes, right? So you just have to gauge it. And you have to know, like, you can't be in two places at once. For instance, I got something coming up where there's a game and there's an event on the same day, and they start a half an hour apart. So I'm thinking what I would like to do is just to go to one of them, because then I'm not rushing and going to like a piece of each. But if I was to go to both, then the one that's at 6:30, I should show up to at 6 o'clock, get there, be prepared, be ready, even before 6, 5:45, be ready, be prepared, and then stay there and then leave and go to the game for halftime, potentially. But I also know that the event that I'm going to, I like to stay for the whole thing and I like to interact with people. So, you know, you have to be willing to say no, and you have to be willing to choose. And people have to understand you're only one person. I'm the type of person where I've been to so many things that I'm not paid to go to, I'm not contractually obligated to go to, and I go to all these things. So then the expectation becomes, well, Dan should be here for everything or almost everything. You know, he went to 20 games, and now we've only seen him at 3. Well, he's slacking. I'm not slacking. Those 20 games that I went to, I had made no agreement that I was going to go to any of those things, and I run myself ragged and made myself sick trying to come to all that stuff. So now this year I've been to 3 because I increased my travel, because there's other things that I try to branch out to and make sure I spread the wealth and didn't just go to one place. See, if you lead with a pure heart and good intentions, people can complain. But if you lead with a good heart, pure heart and good intentions, then the people that actually know you would not question you. And the ones that question you, you know, be prepared to sit down with them and say, I have not been to X, Y, and Z because I added A, B, and C. And then I also took some time with my dog. And I also took some time with myself. And I know that I get run down by this time of year and I usually get sick. So I decided to do less and try to not get sick, because you don't care if I'm sick, but I care if I'm sick. And if I'm sick, I can't do anything. If I'm sick, I can't come see you. I can't go see them. I can't do my show normally. See, I'm the type of person that gives so much to so many people that the moment you take back a little bit, you get that like feeling in your chest that you just get that energy that someone's going, wow, Dan's not doing his job. Dan doesn't care. And that's not reality. It's Dan is taking care of himself. And you will really realize in life the people that really love and care about you and the people that use you, because there's a difference. When you start taking care of yourself, the people that use and abuse you and don't really care until the moment you're not there and then they freak out. They don't care when you're physically there. And then when you are physically there, it doesn't matter to them either. So the moment you don't show up, where's Dan? But every time you're there, they're like, take it or leave it. I don't really care if you're here. The people that care about you would hear you say, I'm doing more with my dog. I'm doing more with my family. I'm doing more to rest. I'm doing more to stay healthy. And they would say, wow, good for you. We'll see you at the next game. Or we won't. And then we'll see you when we see you. Because we know you're out there doing good things. We know you're out there. We know your heart. We know your intentions. The people that use you would hear you say, you're sitting at home. You went to a movie today. Man, you're slacking. You're slacking. And you got to just be able to let those people go. Because those people don't matter. Right? And if somebody's concerned with what you're doing in your life and not checking themselves out and what they're doing in their lives, normally the people that have a lot to say about everybody else are not really keying in on what they need to do in their own life. Because you shouldn't have that much time to worry about everybody else's life unless you're not concerned about yours and you're not really asking much of yourself. So, I know I lead with a pure heart. I know I lead with good intention. I know that I care. And I feel bad for every event that I can't go to. Every event that I don't go to. I'm like, man, I was out of town. I wish I went to this. Man, I didn't feel good. I wish I went to that. Or I just decided to sit at home and relax for once in my life. And I feel bad when I relax. That's somebody else's energy. When you feel bad when you relax, that's somebody else's energy. I'm not telling you to be lazy and I'm not telling you to do nothing. But when you decide to relax and give yourself a little bit of time and you feel guilty, I mean, yeah, you're a hardworking person, but you should be able to do that. I had somebody ask me that question yesterday. They're like, do you struggle to relax? And I was like, yeah, I do. Like yesterday was a holiday and I've been telling myself I'm going to take holidays off. I used to work with everything. I would like New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, Christmas, like I do all this stuff. Like, I should do a show on Christmas Eve. And it's like, no, man, just go relax. And yesterday I said, I'm not going to do a show. I'm not going to be on air in the morning. I'm going to relax. What did I do? I promoted other stuff I've done. I recorded an interview. I edited, got everything set and ready to go. And when I say edit, I don't take things out. Like I let the interview run. I don't like change up what people say and mess with it. When I say edit, I like add an intro, add an outro. That's what I mean by editing. So I recorded an interview, edited an interview, made phone calls, made text messages, planned out other stuff, got things ready, uploaded stuff, downloaded stuff. And by 4:00, I was like, I promised my dog that I would watch movies with her and I would relax today. And I did it at 5:00. That's not good enough. I said I would take the day off. And I didn't. So if you lead with a pure heart and good intentions and you work hard and you work smart, take it for somebody who gets sick every single year because I run myself down. The people that you run yourself down for, not all those people care. I mean, I can look back and go, I got sick running myself down, and I don't know if if those people would even shrug their shoulder to that. You know what I mean? Like, all right, whatever, Dan's not here. But then when I'm not there, it's like, well, Dan's not here. And it's like, yeah, Dan's not here because Dan doesn't want to get sick killing himself over this stuff. When you relax, you're called lazy and you feel guilty. When you work hard, it's never enough. Those two things I'm describing are other people's expectations. You're never going to do enough for them. And the moment you do less, you're slacking and you're lazy and you're not good and you're worth nothing. So why don't you stop living your lives for other people, start living it for God, and control the things you can control. You can be on time. right? Outside of something insane happening, there's a crazy accident, there's a fire that blocks the road or a tree or whatever, you can be on time, right? It's not rocket science. So you could be on time. You can give yourself 15 more minutes. You can plan out your trip. You can distance your meetings from each other. You can say no to certain things. Those are all ingredients to success for time management, right? Give yourself enough time. You can do that. I can do that. And I'm going to do that. I did it today. I got up earlier, gave myself much more time, many more minutes than I typically give myself, got my butt to the studio, got set, got ready, and had everything prepared before 9 o'clock. And the only reason why we came on a couple minutes after is because I was talking to Murph and I was talking to my mom. Because my mom lost her power yesterday, and so I was trying to make sure everything was good with her. That's the only reason. We had everything ready. And I felt a lot better, and I felt like I had more time than I needed, and I felt more at peace. I like that feeling as opposed to rushing to get into the studio and being 15 minutes behind and feeling completely flustered and trying. And I always find my way back. I'm always fine, but I don't like being late. And people say, well, you're late all the time. You don't like being late. Why are you late all the time? Well, because I have to distance my meetings. I have to know the habits of myself and people that I've known for a while, know how much time we typically take, know how long it takes to get from place to place, add 15 minutes to that, wake up a little bit earlier, go to sleep a little bit earlier, all things I can control. So I'm going to try and get better at my time management. I hope you will too. And with that being said, these are the ingredients to success. Speaking on time management from the great team at Avicolli's on 7839 Oswego Road in Liverpool, New York. You can find them 7 days a week with their fantastic food. I love the margarita pizza, which is on the left here. The meat lovers. I'm a huge fan of the barbecue chicken pizza. And I love their tortellini. I love so much at Avicolli's. And Grandma's Pie is the best of the best of the best of the best. And we just had that within the last couple weeks here. So I want to shout that out so very much. They have fantastic food at Avicolli's. And I'm an Italian, so I know that we can make a lot of good stuff at home. Well, when you go to Avicolli's, it tastes like something that your family would make at home. That's why I go there. That's why I like it. Because if you make Italian food that don't taste like home cooking, I ain't coming. So Avicolli's, shout out to them that they're an extension of that home cooking. They do a fantastic job. The Avicolli family, John Frado, and everybody there, thank you for all the work that you do. I appreciate you so very much. Can't wait to see you this month for our Liverpool girls basketball special coming up. And you can go to Avicolli's 7 days a week, like I said, down the road from Liverpool High School. All you have to do is go to 7839 Oswego Road in Liverpool, New York. Or for catering, takeout, and delivery, you can call 315-622-5100. It's 315-622-5100. Or you can order online by going to myavicollis.com. That's myavicollis.com. So thank you to everybody for going out to Avicolli's and trusting us here at Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. With that being said, thank you for watching and listening here on the show today, all up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe. YouTube.com, Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT, and on WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com. Thank you so much for being a part of the broadcast here Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time and beyond. It's almost noon this morning. Once the shows go live, we hop into the archive and add specials from our broadcast to Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, Player FM, Podbean, Podchaser.com, Podvine, Spotify, TuneIn, YouTube, and more. All you have to do on any one of these outlets is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT, and you can play us right in your radio with all the CarPlay that we have now. All you got to do is find us here, and we can have a great time with that. And with that being said, from New York to North Carolina, Brooklyn Pickle, Southern Pines, 1788 Old Morganton Road in Southern Pines, North Carolina. You will find them there right down the street from Pinehurst Golf Courses. Brooklyn Pickle, we know them here in central and upstate New York. They've now traveled down the East Coast to North Carolina, and they are right there at Southern Pines with their fantastic flavors and greatness of food. My favorite is named after the restaurant, the BP, the Brooklyn Pickle. Absolutely love it. Go and get your sandwiches, your soups, your salads, and more on 1788 Old Morganton Road in Southern Pines, North Carolina. And, of course, many thanks to our team of partners in Central and Upstate New York, Great Lakes Honda City, Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, GG Cards and Breaks, as well as Servomation, Ma and Pa's, the snack capital of the world, Avicolli's, Canine Camp Dog Daycare, Mother's Cupboard, Chick-fil-A Cicero, Canine Campground Dog Boarding, Pizza Man, Brian's Landing, and we are the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Lemoyne College Dolphins. It's Fins Up every single month on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We appreciate you being here with us every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time for Dolphin Time. And, of course, we have student athletes, coaches, administration, future Dolphins, and alumni on the broadcast with Lemoyne College in our 3+ years of being their exclusive multimedia marketing partner, the first of its kind, the first partnership of its kind ever in Lemoyne College history. Go to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt, click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and of course, make sure that you find our Lemoyne playlist on our YouTube channel. You can also find the Dolphins on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to LemoyneDolphins.com and Fins Up. The Bryan and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse are exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. You will find the Bobcats in what we call the Bobcat Buzz every single month. Men's and women's basketball, men's and women's soccer, and of course student athletes, coaches, and administration. We just did the Bobcat Takeover on campus at Bryan and Stratton College of Syracuse, one of their campuses, which is the one at James Street, the main campus, right there up the street from downtown Syracuse. And that was our takeover with new athletics director Brooke Parro, who joined me for the annoying moment of the week, lead, as well as the top dog of the week, and some rapid fire questions. Go and see that special on Facebook.com and YouTube.com, both /wakeupcalldt. You can find all of our Bobcat Buzz specials by going to youtube.com /wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find our BSC Syracuse playlist. You also find the Bobcats on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to syracuse.bscbobcats.com. Congratulations to the men's and women's teams for defeating 5 towns over the weekend, and shout out to Senior Day for the wonderful, wonderful student athletes, Shamari, as well as Darren, who celebrated a 51-point victory at home on Senior Day for the men's basketball team. Both men's and women's basketball won, and they're both moving toward this postseason here, so God bless to them both, and a speedy recovery for women's basketball head coach Tate Baker. Go Bobcats. The Binghamton University Bearcats are exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. You will find the Binghamton University Bearcats every Tuesday, like today, during Bearcat Time. We gave you a double dose, so under promise, over deliver. We only have to give you one conversation on Tuesday during Bearcat Time. We gave you 2, and we've done that countless times here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora because we love to, like I said, under promise and over deliver. That has been something that's very important in my life. The Bearcats, student athletes, coaches, and administration join you here where sports meets life on Wake Up Call in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time worldwide. I want to thank Jenna Chan and Kevin McKeown for being a part of the broadcast today. And obviously, I want to send up prayers and love and support for everyone who is missing J.R. Gaudet today and celebrating his life and going to the services today for J.R., a member of the Binghamton men's lacrosse team and the Binghamton Fire Department. God bless to everyone, including his wife, as well as his 3 children and everyone whose lives he affected in a positive way, some way, somehow. So God bless, and thank you to those who are the first to respond and run toward the flame and try to help us. God bless, and I don't know what we would be without you. We'd be a really terrible world. So thank you, JR. Thank you to all of your brothers and sisters in first responder world, and of course with the fire department, the police department, as well as the ambulances and hospitals and all types of healthcare. Thank you for running toward the storm, running toward the flame, running toward the accident to help people. And everything that you've done has saved lives, and I pray that God is holding you tightly today and holding all your loved ones, and that God reminds you and your loved ones, JR, that heaven is not that far away, because Jesus destroyed death and restored life when he died on the cross and rose from the dead. So thank you to all of those that are remembering JR today and always. And God bless you, JR. Thank you for running toward the flame, and thank you for helping others. It's an easy thing to say, right? Help others, but it's something that is so needed. And anyone who's willing to sacrifice their life for somebody else, to me, is an example of Jesus himself. So thank you, JR. JR Gaudet. Make sure that you celebrate him and take a moment to appreciate your loved ones today. Call them, text them, go see them if you can. Please. It's important. Don't waste your life. God bless. Don't waste your time. So God bless to JR. Thank you to Kevin for remembering JR and for everything that Kevin brings to the broadcast. Thank you to Jenna for telling her story. And can't wait to see what comes up for all of them very soon, including men's lacrosse and women's track and field and everything at Binghamton University. You can find all of our stories on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, find the Binghamton playlist. Your Bearcats are also on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to binghamtonbearcats.com and go Bearcats. With that being said, here on the show, inside of ModPawsPopcorn.com's What's Poppin', I want to thank the wonderful Brendan Murphy for joining me for DT and Murphy. I want to thank Kevin McKeown as well from Binghamton University, the men's lacrosse head coach of the Bearcats, as well as a student athlete and member of the Brethren there with Binghamton as well. Want to thank Jenna Chan for joining us, hurdler for the Binghamton women's track and field team for the Bearcats, and just broke her own record and continues to do amazing things. So God bless to her and everything that's coming up, as well as a thanks to Avicolli's for the ingredients to success, proudly presented by Avicolli's. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Find us on Facebook at WakeUpCallDT, X at CallDT, and Instagram at WakeUpCall_DT. And as always, here on Wake Up Call, inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, we say God bless, no stress, do your best.